I can actually check the chat on my computer, I realized. Oh, yeah, I can do that because I don't have the video feed. Oh, and we're live. Hello, Internet. Hello, we are live. All you beautiful people out in Internet land. Still gonna make sure I have the chat pulled up on my phone just in case. So, hello, Poke fans, all you monster catching maniacs. My name is Greg Troyan. I am a Genwunner. And by Genwunner, I mean I also played Gen 2, so, this video is a lie. It's a clickbait title. But welcome. Welcome to our Pokemon live stream where I am going to be reacting to a generation of Pokemon. I have no idea what I'm reacting to. I guess it's going to be Gen 9, according to this tab that I've been sent. And I am joined by a Pokemon expert. We've got Summoner Jobin, my buddy who I play Final Fantasy XIV with once a week, who we have taken like more than a year to not beat a Realm Reborn together, moving at a snail's pace. But everyone, welcome Summoner Jobin to the stream. Hello, Jobin. Welcome to the chat. We'll display your 14 character for the world to see. Looking good.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, and hey, everybody. Looking forward to digging into a fun tier list. Seeing Greg's reactions.
Yeah, so
First
basically,
time.
yeah, this is just a stream based purely on vibes because I haven't played past Gen 2 in Pokemon. I actually do have
Okay.
a physical copy of Pokemon Emerald kicking around. I think I ended up getting my cousin's copy of Pokemon Emerald. So if I do play another Pokemon game, as talked about with Andrew Blewett on the last stream, that would probably be the one I'd go for. I would still emulate it because it's just better for streaming than just like do a weird hookup with my Game Boy Advance. But I do actually have a physical
hmm
copy of Emerald, so it's not piracy to play it that way. It's just conveniency.
There you go. Which, funny enough that you bring that up, Emerald is the only game that I have emulated in the series.
Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, we can kind of. I figured we'd dig into our histories of the series and whatnot. I don't know that I fully know yours. I know that you said you played Gen 1. I don't know if that was red, blue, or yellow or a combination, but yeah, I know for sure that you're new to most or all of the Gen 9 designs, but
So you didn't
definitely,
watch the other
figure we
Pokemon
could.
live stream that's on this channel that you can totally watch? Please like, comment, subscribe.
I definitely did. I didn't watch all of it though. Couldn't catch it right when it started,
Couldn't
but
catch them
I
all.
was
I get it.
listening to you guys for yeah, yep, trying to catch them all, but I did catch you guys for over an hour, so I heard a good amount.
Well, the replay is up with time codes, but in case you don't know, oh, and I might have to move you around when I've got the tier ranker there. Maybe like that.
So the slime's not getting in the way. Hey, is this a Dragon Quest list or a Pokemon list?
But I played Pokemon Red and Blue when it came out. It was after I had played Final Fantasy VII, so I already like knew what RPGs were. But it was really cool to
Mm-hmm.
have an RPG on the Game Boy that people were interested in because I was 7 years old when Final Fantasy VII came out. Ain't no other 7-year-olds interested in Final Fantasy VII. Like that was already like kind of niche. And so just like people my age just like were just not into RPGs. Even though like Final Fantasy VII was like broadening it out to the mainstream, it was mostly like teenagers who were into Final Fantasy VII. And so for me being as young as I was, like people just my age weren't into Final Fantasy yet. But Pokemon was something that just like the normies could get into. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but I mean, I loved it. I played Red and Blue. Loved them. Like, yeah, was super into it. Like, watched the anime, got the trading cards, thought the trading card game sucked. Um, cried when I accidentally like overwrote one of my save files by accident. Um,
Oh no.
did the missing no glitch. I mean, I was fully into it, and then played Gold and Silver, and what year did that even come out? What year did Gold and Silver come out?
Was it 99?
Yeah, that was 99. Uh, but then, like, by that point, there were just other things that were more interesting to me. uh like a year later, I was playing Final Fantasy 9,
Hmm.
and just, even though I enjoyed Pokemon Gold and thought it was cool, like my RPG taste had evolved. And even though I did enjoy like the subtle differences between the games, like okay, there's the daycare and the breeding, and there's the shiny Gyarados, and there's all these new Pokemon. You get to fight Red at the end. Like it still felt like more of the same, which like don't get me wrong, it was cool, but I didn't
Hmm.
necessarily need more of that in my life. I'm like, oh man, I just gotta play the next one. It just I didn't feel that like pull to continue on with the series, where it's not that I hated it, and I played Pokemon Snap with the wife and stuff, and so I saw the Detective Pikachu movie, and I've become
Hmm.
friends with Eric Stewart, who played Brock in the original Pokemon series and played James, and so like I never like said, oh, Pokemon sucks. It's just like I just developed other interests, and it just became a lower and lower priority as someone who's less gameplay centric and more story focused, and someone who's more into tightly driven narratives as opposed to emergent narratives. Pokemon is more of like an
Hmm.
emergent narrative series, and that's not necessarily what I want from a video game. Um, and so I just sort of fell off the series, but never like completely hate it, and like paid attention enough to know that Arceus is God and that there's an ice cream cone Pokemon. Like, so never completely fell off. Enjoyed the Detective Pikachu movie. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I still like Pokemon, and I'd be interested in playing the other games. I have a list of like hundreds of RPGs I want to play, and there are the Pokemon games
Hmm.
are on the list, but they're lower priority when there's like a sick Joan of Arc PSP RPG that I could be playing.
For sure. Yeah, and so glad that came to the PlayStation Store recently, by the way. I was so excited. There have been many years here where I never owned a PSP, but I almost bought one just for that game. And then, recently they dropped it on the store. And now I'm like, okay, where's Popa LaCroix? Like, here we go.
Right? No,
How many
so
more are we gonna get? Yeah.
So what's your history with Pokemon? You're a couple years younger than me. You're what, like 2 or 3 years younger than me, something like that?
Yeah, yeah. And to be clear, so you said you played through gold or silver.
I think I played through both,
Um,
and then like my sister had, I think, Crystal, and I played a little bit of it, but I didn't
okay.
bother like replaying it because I'm like, I already beat in Red, Blue, and Yellow, and then Gold
Okay,
and
yeah, yellow
Silver.
too. Nice.
So it's like I
Yeah,
just didn't have the need to be like, do I need to play, because I knew the differences between Yellow and Red and Blue. I'm like, do I really need to do this again? Like, I'm alright.
gotcha. And then you said you own Emerald, but you haven't played it, so that's what you've played of the mainline games then, right? And you said you played Snap.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, so my Pokemon story like is really cool, at least for me. Um, like from what I remember, which I did talk to my mom like over the past year to try to like, make sure this story was like, hey, am I remembering this right? Because I was really young. But my first game console, I got the Game Boy Color with the Pokemon around the screen, like the limited Pikachu like Pokemon edition for
Yeah.
Christmas one year. Yeah, still one of my favorite gifts ever. I was really young. And so, it seems like Yellow was the first game I played actually. But I also had Blue because I loved Blastoise. So, I played through Blue as well. Um, and then I played through Gold. And then I think it was before Gold, I got an N64 and had Pokemon Stadium, which I really loved too. It was cool, like seeing them on the big screen and 3D, obviously. Um, and played through Crystal as well, and just seeing more of like the color pop and the animations was a really big deal. So I love Crystal still to this day. Um, and then got Pokemon Stadium 2 on my N64, which I still have my original N64. Unfortunately, don't have the Game Boy Color that I used to own. And then it's interesting because I also played through Ruby when it was new, but then took a break after Ruby. I never played Emerald originally, and I skipped Diamond and Pearl, and then I actually jumped back on with Platinum, and then have played through almost every game since then. So after Platinum, I had White, and then played through, I believe it was Black 2. It was one of the sequels that I played. So I think it was Black 2. And then I had Pokemon X, which was a big deal. I remember during that time, like, it came out, and did like almost an all-nighter in my dorm room in college, where I had another buddy who we were playing together in the same room, just each on our same system. Like, wow, this is incredible! Like staying up until like 5 or 5:30 in the morning. Great memories with that, and Mega Evolution and things like that. And then after that, I played Moon, and then I did take a break. I skipped Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. They seemed really similar. Even though I loved Moon, it didn't seem like there were enough differences to warrant a playthrough, even though I've been really heavily invested in the series since I was young. And then after that, I had Shield, so I played through Shield on the Switch, and Let's Go Eevee. A little bit more of a bigger Eevee fan than Pikachu, although I certainly like them both. Still waiting on that new Eeveelution, like, what, 11 years later now? Crazy. So hopefully we'll get a new one soon, maybe next year, but trying not to put too much stock and hope into it anymore. Um, and then after that, I did play the DLC two for Shield, and then played Violet. So and that gets us current. So yeah, there's a couple that I've missed, but for the most part have played certainly all the mainline ones. I know they did a re-release, kind of a remaster, it seems, of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on the Switch. I think they called it DX, and I'm definitely going to play that at some point. I did forget to mention, actually, I still have it. I played Hey You Pikachu as a kid as well on the N64. It came with that microphone. I don't know if you ever played that, but you could like talk to Pikachu.
I saw it. I never played it.
Yeah, so pretty novel, kind of one of those like classic Nintendo seeming things. And the other thing related to that was really cool is I don't know if you remember or played or heard about it, but on Pokemon Stadium, you could put in like yellow or red and blue, and then play it on your big TV through
Yeah,
the
yeah, I did.
game pack.
I did
Yeah,
play
and I
that at a
love
friend's
that.
house once, so I did get to experience that. And what was it? The one Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. Those look like ones I
Hmm.
would really enjoy, just because they seem to be more narrative driven and a little bit more linear. Um,
Hmm.
so I definitely want to try out those. I mean, there's a lot of interesting, twists and turns with the series, like the Legends side games. Um, I would be
Hmm.
interested in the Detective Pikachu games. Because I am like a little bit of like a mystery nerd. Like I've got a giant Sherlock Holmes compendium behind me over on the bookshelf. So,
Nice.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff in the series where I think I would have some interest, and I might actually find some of the spin-offs more interesting than the main series. Like I think that
Hmm.
like Legends and like the Detective Pikachu games might vibe with me more than like anything in the main series, possibly. Um, but I've only played the first two generations, and I'd be interested in doing like some of the remakes, like trying Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and trying Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'd be interested in like giving those a shot because I think that might help me appreciate like Gold and Silver more, and Red and Blue from like a different perspective because I've played Red and Blue so many times where I remember it like the back of my hand. And then Gold and Silver,
Oh,
because I only
cool.
really played through each of those once, I wonder if the increased graphics would make me appreciate them more. So I'd be interested in like trying a few different routes of the series and not just being like, Gold, Silver, Ruby, Sapphire, Diamond, Pearl, Black, White, just like going through each. But I would say I probably wouldn't have much interest in doing like the differences between like Ruby versus Sapphire, Diamond versus Pearl.
Yeah.
Aside from whatever one it is where like there's different enemy teams based upon which game you're playing. I'm trying to remember what one that is.
Well, yeah. So Ruby and Sapphire did have the different enemy teams, Team Aqua and Team Magma.
Okay, then maybe that's the one.
Um, yeah, yeah. So that is one. And actually, I just realized. So I was gonna link it back to the N64. But really, I forgot. Yeah, Heart Gold, one of my absolute favorites. I definitely played through that and loved it when it came out at the time. And then Omega Ruby, which was a remake of, like Ruby and Sapphire, basically. Oh, yeah, I played through that as well, and is also one of my favorites. And then I think I mentioned in the beginning, I actually did go back a handful of years ago and play Emerald on uh, emulation on an emulator, and really enjoyed it. So did not play Fire Red or Leaf Green. Hope to at some point. I heard there's some great updates, but yeah. And on the N64 as well, I played the original Pokemon Snap. So I look forward to playing the new one someday. Which that new one, is that what Amanda was playing then,
Oh no, we were
or was
playing
it the old
the
one?
original. So we used to have an N64, but that's just sort of like passed away over time, so we just emulated it. So she had an
Cool.
N64 and, played it back in the day and played Pokemon Snap. And then one night we were just like, we were just like looking for something to do. And she's like, man, I wish we could play Pokemon Snap, but we don't have the N64 anymore because it just like died, whatever. Um, that's sort of
Hmm.
the glory of emulation, where like even if your console dies, you can just still play the game. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'll make a quick shout out to my fellow Pokemon masters, my buddies who have been playing the games with me over the years. Robert, Alex, and also Max, who hasn't played for a long time, but he used to play some, so and still enjoys Pokemon and talking about it. So
all right, so we have got Gen 9 here, and I do not know
yeah.
what I'm looking at. I don't know which of these Pokemons I know and which ones I don't know. Because, like, I don't
Hmm.
avoid spoilers. You and I have talked about spoilers quite a bit, where in general, I
Hmm.
don't care about spoilers. And so, like, I haven't hid myself from later generations of Pokemon. It's more just I haven't actively gone out and sought them. So, when I did the stream with Andrew Blewett, he showed me some latter day Pokemon designs and just wanted to get my like thoughts on them. And my thoughts on basically all of them were, "This is fine. I don't know why people hate this." So it's possible he showed me some Gen 9 ones. I don't know.
Hmm.
Um,
Gotcha. Roughly how many designs did you guys run through? Just curious.
I don't remember. Watch the stream. There's a time code in the description for where that part happens.
Yeah,
Uh, uh,
there you go.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it was like 10, and then he showed me like some stuff from this like Pokemon fan game where it was like these monstrosity fusion things that were really horrifying.
Hmm.
Um, it was creative and interesting, but am kind of over the trend of when Western fans make a fan game, they just like add like this like creepy horror element to things. Just like let me add this creepy
Hmm.
horror element to a kids thing. It just like I mean I don't like horror much in general, so I look I but I it's like the let's make Winnie the Pooh a slasher movie thing. It's like I don't think it's as clever as you think it is. And so like oh man we made Pokemon horrifying. I'm just like I mean like some of them were creative, but like I don't know if I could care about like an entire game about that. Um,
Hmm.
that's just me. Um, but then again, some people
That's
would really
funny. Yeah, go
dislike
ahead.
my idea for a Pokemon fan game. Um, which if I were to make a Pokemon fan game, my premise would be basically combining Pokemon with Final Fantasy, essentially, where I thought to myself, in a world before Pokeballs existed, like people would treat Pokemon basically like these demons that would like go and destroy like small feudal villages and just like, oh no, a
Hmm.
Charizard is rampaging and then all of the crops are destroyed and it killed the children. We must stop Charizard. And so I could imagine like dudes with like swords and stuff fighting Pokemon the same way you'd fight monsters in Final Fantasy. And so if I were to make a Pokemon RPG, it would be about like the invention of the Pokeball and what a world seismic shift that would be. So it would be that like Final Fantasy medieval meets technology kind of vibe before it becomes the idyllic world of modern Pokemon. We're just like, oh, it's not a big deal because we have Pokeballs now.
Yeah. Caveat Zealot says in the chat, so World of Final Fantasy.
Um, Yeah, más o menos. Although it would probably be darker than World of Final Fantasy, it would probably be, in terms of tone, closer to a Final Fantasy than a Pokemon game. But also that just shows you I play more Final Fantasy than Pokemon. That's the approach I would take.
Hmm. Yeah. It's interesting you saying that. And again, gosh, there's so many of them I forgot to mention. I did also play Pokemon Legends, Arceus, but um yeah, in that vein, like I think they could have leaned more heavily into that to make it even more interesting, just like with the world building. But I think Legends might speak to you based on that. It, again, might not lean as heavily into some of those elements that you'd like, but some similar ideas, based on kind of what you were saying on how the game that you would make. So
Well, let's dive into these Pokemon designs. So I have no idea what we're doing. I can make them bigger like this. Yeah, sure. Is that too big? Yeah, that's probably good. That's probably a good size. Hopefully you folks at home can see the screen okay. Um,
yeah, now got my Mew shirt on, ready to roll.
okay, so it looks like is this little green guy like the grass starter of Gen 9?
It is, and I was going to mention not, here, but as we approach some of these other designs, if there's a little bit of like lore or something, background based on the design or something new, I think might be a little bit good context. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just quickly, shoot it to you. But I was going to mention that real quick. But yep, this one is the grass starter,
Is it
Sprigatito.
like a grass cat type thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's we're this is
Yep.
immediate S rank. Because one, I've grass starters are like basically what I've gone with. Like that's my vibe. Bulbasaur and Chikorita are just straight up my homies. Um, like if I'm replaying those games, I'm picking them. I love cats. Cats are like top two favorite animal, like cats and bears. So when you have a cat grass starter, like straight up, that's S rank. This is the you watched my stream with Jesse where we were ranking Final Fantasy characters. This is me putting my flag in the
Hmm.
sand immediately, not knowing anything that's coming later. I am planting my flag in the sand. I will refuse any compromise on this. This is going into S rank. This is my one gimme. You will get a gimme later of anything you want, but this is S rank, flag in the sand, blowing it right away on the first one, but I don't care. Grass cat starter, S
Yeah.
rank.
I love it. Literally setting the bar with the first one up at S. No, I respect it. I know obviously we've talked a lot about your love for cats and the your cats that you have as your pets. So I am like not a massive cat lover, but I definitely do not dislike them. I love animals in general. Um, for me, I think very cute. I love the eyes. Um, for me though, it's more like low, like higher B or low A. Where I do think it's adorable. But I don't think it's that like absolute top tier, like near perfection type of design. Um, but it sounds like we're not gonna talk about compromising yet because
No, this is my one
you were
no
calling your
compromise. We will,
gimme.
we will compromise on other ones. This is my
Literally the
no
first
compromise one. You get a
literally the
no
first
compromise
one.
one later. This is my nope flag in the sand. I'm sorry. It is a grass starter and a cat, and it is freaking adorable. I'm sorry. Look, I you're my friend. I respect you. I'm down for compromise, not for the grass starter cat. I'm sorry. Immediate flag in the sand. This is my yeah, no, this is my storming the beaches of Normandy. I refuse to back down here.
That's great. There's definitely one coming up down the line that while I don't think you'll disagree, I also have a flag in the sand if you don't happen to. So we'll see what happens there and how things shake out. But yeah, I'm not upset with the S here at all. Certainly, with what's been said, would be more comfortable with A. But hey, man, you let your flag fly, so yeah, you've made your stand.
Now these evolutions, I don't need to put them in S. I'm kind of more open to it, because I love Bulbasaur
Hmm.
and Chikorita, but their evolutions I don't have as much affinity for. Like I still like Ivysaur and Venusaur, but I'm not as ride or die for them as I am for Bulbasaur. So I think those very early stages of the grass starters where they're just so freaking cute, like that's S rank for me at any time. But like this, like these next evolutions, I still like them. But like if you're insisting that they go in B, I will not fight too hard on that. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatevs.
Yeah, really. And for me, and I think for a lot of people, it just obviously depends, but that middle stage, particularly for the starters, can be particularly rough. I don't think this is a particularly rough case,
I mean, this looks good. This is
which
one of
is
the best
nice.
middle ones I've
Yeah,
seen, to be honest. It looks really cool.
yeah. So, while I do think there's stronger ones in general in the series, yeah, I think like a really solid B here. Like looks nice. Definitely not offensive like we do see with some of the middle stages for the starters. But yeah, I like the colors. I like a little bit of the introduction of the flower there. Um, so yeah, I would say B myself. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I could go A with this one, but I can do B just fine because I mean I do really like it. Like this, um, as far as like middle, starters, this ranks pretty high. Just me looking at it right here. Um,
Hmm.
like I think this is a better step up than like Ivysaur is, or Charmeleon, or Wartortle. Um,
Mm,
like this actually looks like it evolved into something that's different, but it's cool. Versus like Ivysaur, Wartortle, and Charmeleon, it's just like, oh, you just got uglier. Like in this case, it's not about getting uglier. It's just like it's almost like when like Goku becomes like a teenager in Dragon Ball, where he's not chibi, but he's cool and different. That's
hmm.
I see this as like an evolution as opposed to just like you got uglier and tougher. It's like you went through your training arc essentially.
Got it. Greg, you're really flipping the script as far as the Genwunner
I
with
mean,
with
I'm a
those
fake
call
Gen
outs
Oneer.
there.
It's more just like I'm a Gen Oneer because of inertia, not because I hate later generations. It's just like I just didn't get around to
Hmm.
playing it because I was busy.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, mid to high B here. So, um, yeah, I know you said potentially A, maybe B.
Yeah, I could put it like low A, high B. This next one I still like, but I would definitely put it lower. I don't know if it goes all the way to C. It could, but I would put it below uh the one we just did. But I don't know if it goes all the way down like another category. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest weakness in this design here, which we should probably talk as far as like how I know you're saying, hey, it's kind of based on vibes, like how we're kind of qualifying, our rankings. For me, it's mostly just the looks and the design. Certain ones, a little bit of the lore and background, just in special cases, but usually not considering like the shiny, which I'm sure you're familiar with the shinies. Um, but yeah, I'm not really considering battle prowess when I'm looking at these. This one though, it's interesting. So I don't have a long history, but I did play a lot of or a little bit of VGC, like competitive doubles. And this one, it was a little bit in the Scarlet Violet era here. This one actually had a pretty good competitive presence, at least for a while. I'm not sure right now, current. And I never used Masquerada here this final stage, but yeah. Anyway, tangent over. But I think the mask here is the biggest problem for me, where I do like it still, and I definitely like the flower, but I don't love how the mask looks. So I'd say lower than the middle stage, but I'd still say like a lower B. like not too low of a B
Well,
for me.
it's lowest right now. I'm sure we'll get other ones that beat it. I like the mask, but also I've got I don't know how much into like vaudevillian stuff you're into versus what I'm into. So like
Hmm.
I did theatrical rock for a decade. So like a mask like that is right at home with like my wheelhouse. So I can vibe with this cat wearing a mask that's a grass type. Like I am like the vibes are fully here.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's really going for that magician thing. It has a exclusive move called Flower Trick
I mean,
that
as
you
far as
know.
like magician
uh,
stuff goes, I literally have a giant top hat just within reach. So,
Nice. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure a couple people just shivered if they had gone against it competitively, thinking about those past crits. But yeah.
all right. So next up is this red fire starter. Um, not to be confused with who does that song? Is it Prodigy? Who
It,
does?
it, who talking about who didn't start the
No.
fire or flame?
No, that's a different song. Yeah, the Prodigy, and then Gene Simmons covered it, and the music video was
Hmm.
atrocious. Yeah, it's like that like techno industrial song, not to be confused with like the Billy Joel song you're probably thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Gonna
it's
say
they're
surely
very
yeah.
very different, very different. This
Yeah, I
guy's cute.
definitely thought you were talking about something else.
I could put this
100%.
guy I could put this guy A or S. I could put him bottom of S right now. Or look, like starters, they're freaking cute. This is a freaking cute guy. Look at him. He's smiling. I like him. I could put him S.
I am at the exact same spot with you, and I will say it now. I do think he is the strongest starter by a little bit. So I'm in the same boat where I'm high A, low S. I think adorable, a great little fire croc for sure.
Uh, the evolutions I'm not as hot on. This one looks like it looks like he's got like a sombrero. He looks like he is a mascot at a Mexican restaurant. That looks like a fun Mexican restaurant with like some nice spicy salsa. Um, Like I watched a video tour of Casa Bonita last night, and he looks like he would fit in there just great. Um, so I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on this one. You can put him wherever you want. The second form,
Yeah, I think it's quite the downgrade. In theory, I like the idea of the fire sombrero. And like I get that the white mask is starting to come out more, being a middle stage. I do think it has a little bit of that awkward starter middle stage to it though, where it's not bad, but it just looks a little bit off. So, for this one, I think, maybe like higher C is where I'm at.
sure. And so now we're on the third form. I don't know. He just kind of he's he's a crocodile. It's fine. I don't have a strong opinion on this one. He makes me want to eat Mexican food less than the last one, so I'd want to rank this one even lower.
That's funny. I know before the game came out, a lot of people were, wondering and kind of had a bit of a debate of like, oh, are we going to see like a two-legged kind of standing up like Croc, or, are we going to get four legs? And a lot of people were vying for the four legs, including me. Um, and I got a shiny one of these, which is cool, because he's also a secondary like ghost type. But for me, I think even better, really. I think it's pretty good. I think B for this one personally.
All right, do you want to
I
put him
like it.
above the? So I like the. I would put him below the two grass ones, but I could accept in between them. I would not put him above. I would not put him at the top of B personally. But I could accept between those two if you feel strongly about it.
Oh, not too strongly, but yeah, I think that's pretty generous. So, I mean, it could be after both the grass ones if you want. Um,
Yeah, I'm feeling it after both the grass ones.
yeah.
Unless you're like really strongly feeling about it.
No, I'm good with that. I think it's about on par with the middle grass stage. Um, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be in the middle, but I do prefer it to Masquerada to the left of it. So we can put it behind.
All right. Look, we've got a duck with like an Elvis hairdo. This is also S rank for me. It's a freaking duck with like blue Elvis hair. I would put this S at the bottom of S. But still, I mean, it's cute. I like cute things. I'm a sucker for the cute. How do you feel about this
Yeah,
duck?
you're putting me in a tough spot because this is the one I picked. I've actually always picked water for my starter for every single game, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, I think this one's great. I'm not as high as S, but I think in kind of the um, A range, maybe lower, maybe middle. But yeah, kind of a cool and adorable looking duck with a little bit of attitude. You can see even this early on. So yeah, I would say A personally.
We can put him
How
down to
uh
A.
how
It hurts when we have the other
okay,
two starters in S and him in A, but I don't feel as strongly about it. And even though I do prefer water starters to fire starters, I think the fire starter this generation is cuter. So, but also he's got the most attitude of the bunch. So but at A for attitude.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I personally I do like this one a little bit more than Sprigatito, a grass cat, but yeah, I think with where we're at on both of those, A might be good if you're willing to concede just a little bit.
I'll concede just a
Unless
little
you were
bit.
like, oh, it's like, yeah, okay,
There's room to compromise. Maybe I'll do a trade up for it. I mean, I don't know how strongly I'm going to feel about any of these other ones where I need to do a trade because it's literally just vibes upon first glance. Although this one I had seen because he was in the thumbnail for the last video, and he's a cool looking duck. I mean, I like him. Um, Pooh, we got some downgrades here. Oh
yeah,
man,
buddy.
yeah. I mean, I don't. These Nets two forms are both C. I don't know if anything is a D for me. I'm really not much of a hater. It has to be pretty bad. I'd put these both in C. So it's really like depending on how much you like them, where they end up.
I know for now you at least deleted our F tier. I don't think it's quite that low, but even having one of these on my party and raising it, I think this is definitely D tier. I think this is pretty rough
Both of them.
transition. No, just the middle one. The middle one in particular, I would say D. I really don't like the top of its head and what's going on, and I don't know, like you lose a lot of that lighter blue that's really nice.
Hmm.
Um and yeah, you can start to see kind of the dancing inspiration, but I don't like this. I don't like really get it, but this is a very solid D tier for me personally. So I know you said C.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm too nice to put any of these little guys into D. But if you're like, we need some D's, I'll give you that. And then this third form, which kind of looks like one of the dudes in Star Gladiator. Um,
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not familiar personally, but yeah, I had one and Quackleval, I believe. And I like it. I think it's grown on me a little bit. Whereas, in the past I was like, this is okay. I do like it, but I'm not in love with it. It's kind of maybe like higher C for me, and I know you said C as well.
yeah, I mean, I can do C with it.
Maybe above Sombrero Man.
I don't know if I put him above Sombrero Man. Like this dude, like I don't want to eat. Like the Sombrero Man does make me want chips and salsa, and like a quesadilla, chimichangas.
Greg, we got to be careful if we're going by hunger here with what's coming up. But
Oh yeah, I looked down here. There's like a dog that looks like it's made out of bread or something. I don't know. We'll get to that.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like there's this bread dog like over here. But okay, so yeah, all right. So I'm a vegetarian, so I want these creatures to not be killed. I think they're beautiful, intelligent creatures. So I am not hungry at all looking at these guys over here. Like this guy, he makes me think I'm going to a fun restaurant. I don't want to eat him. These guys also, I don't want to eat these pigs, which, all right, I can see this as being like kind of a more boring evolution of Pokemon designs because it just looks like are these like three different forms, or is one just like a male and female adult? Or is this
Yeah,
actually like so it's like the baby and then the female and male adult forms of it?
that's right. Yep. So if you have a male Lechonk, which is the little pig, it does become the blacker looking form, um, just to the right of it. And then if you have a female Lechonk, when it evolves, it does become the second one that's more brown.
So the thing is the baby
Oink alone.
the baby kind of looks like he's like crying, which does make me a little bit sad. Um, so I mean these like look as far as Pokemon designs goes, these are kind of less interesting and like there's not as much of a quirk with them. So I could put the adults in D, but this little one because he looks like he's crying, I don't have the heart to put him in D, so I'd want to put him in at least C because I feel bad otherwise. Um,
D, wow.
if I have to put them in
I
D, because they're just like there's not necessarily like this like creative spark necessarily. They just look like cute animal designs that you could see in like a Disney movie. Aside from like the stuff underneath the eyes and like the weirdness of the tail, like there's not that much that like separates it from just like a pig in a Disney film, just a normal pig. It doesn't look like a Pokemon necessarily. It just looks like a pig. Um, and so I'm not seeing
so
like
I for lit
but I mean, I
Yeah, go
still
ahead.
like them. I don't dislike them. I'm saying, but like if you put them in D, I wouldn't fight you. I just insist that at least bare minimum C for him.
Mm. So actually, it's funny. A long time, relatively long time ago, like earlier when the games had just come out, I love pigs. So Lechonk was like lower S for me. I was in love. I was like, this thing is adorable.
Oh, we can
And
put him
I
up in
actually
S.
have. I don't know if it's two shinies of it or just one. I know I have at least one, which is a little pink guy when he's shiny. But now I'm not quite as high. I still think adorable. Even with my pig love. A. I think he's A. So if you think he's C, I'm gonna have to fight you to keep him at A.
No, we can put him in A. The thing is, like,
Okay.
I am like the Paula Abdul of this panel, where I'm just like, they're all cute, they're all great, they can all go high because like I'm really not much of I'm not much of a hater. So like the pigs, I'm just like, okay,
Hmm.
if I'm trying to like differentiate the tiers, like the adult ones, they don't really look super like unique. And so like if I'm judging them like in terms of like design, like okay, well they're not that unique, so I could rank them low, but like I like them still. So if you're just like,
Got
man,
it.
I'm ride or die for these pigs, I want to put them in S, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. like,
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so Oinkalone, the evolution, I do think the male one is weaker. A bit boring, but I wouldn't say bad. I would say lower C for this. So if you think it's D, I wouldn't be upset if it ended up in D, but
nah,
I would definitely put it.
I'm only gonna do D's for the ones you really like insist upon. But like I don't dislike any of these, at least that I've seen thus far.
Okay. Gotcha. And then the female I do like more. I would say lower B. I'm not super high on it, but I do think it's got some charm to it. So we'll see what you're thinking for that.
I will just put it there. I'm not fighting as hard on that.
Okay. All right. So we can put it behind Skeledirge, the final fire starter.
All right, now we've got it's like a Spider Guy and a evolution of Spider Guy. Yeah, I mean this one kind of reminds me of like Caterpie and Weedle a little bit, just like with a spider motif. Um, not quite as cute as either of them. I think like the difference in the eyes makes it like less relatable as a creature. I don't know. I'm not super hot on this. I could put it in C.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let's see.
All right, C
Yeah,
it
I
is. Let's
like this
see.
one. I yeah, there you go. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'd say lower B for this. I think it's cute. I like the back of it. I do have a shiny one, which I wasn't hunting for, but I just kind of happened to find and catch. But I'm not going to fight you if you want to put it in C.
Can
It
we bump
doesn't
up a
massively
sombrero
stand
guy
out.
to B? Because every time I'm looking at him, I'm liking him more, and I'm wanting more food.
I really don't want to, but hey, I'll respect the salsa or Mexican food urge.
Respect
So
the chimichanga, man.
I can respect that, even though I don't agree with it.
Watch, by the end of the stream, he will rank at the top of S.
Oh no,
Alright, this dude
yeah, we don't.
this dude looks like a
Yeah, go ahead.
Futurama character right here, which is fun. Let's see, where would I put that guy?
Yeah,
I would put him
Spide Ops, I believe.
I'd put him at the bottom of B. At the highest is where I would put him. He does not pass the chimichanga barrier for me.
There you go. I do not like this one. He's weird looking and strange, and I just don't like what I'm looking at. So I think he's D. I don't like this.
All right. I guess meeting in the middle because I was thinking B, you were thinking D. What if we put him
Yeah, we could
bottom of
totally
C?
do. Yeah, we could totally do that. That's fine. Again, not like an F tier for me. But yeah, just strange looking all around.
A reminder for the folks at home: I am a Genwunner who has no idea what I'm looking at, and Jobin knows all these cats and dogs and flies apparently. So this is like a metal fly, like a toy fly or something.
Close, like a cricket.
Oh, okay, metal cricket.
And actually the second stage has kind of that like common rider
Yeah, I see a little bit of
like
that.
inspiration.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the first one doesn't even look like a Pokemon. It looks like a toy. So I could put that one, in C, and then the other one, I'm not as hot on that one either. But that would like be a few spots higher, I think. Like this one, I would put like bottom of C, and this one could be, um, yeah, like this one could be top of C, the evolved form.
Got it. So for Nimble, the first one, I think it's cute, but it doesn't scream at me. It's kind of like a metal, more mechanical looking like baby cricket. I'd say lower B. So if you wanted to put it, maybe like higher C.
We can do bottom of B.
Um,
We can do bottom of B.
okay. All right. Yeah, I like its cute
I'm pretty
factor.
chill. Like I'm not feeling super strong with these, but it, like does not pass the chimichanga barrier. Um, and like this
And then
this
I think
the
it's
evolved form doesn't pass the
yeah.
chimichanga barrier for me either. But if you feel strongly, you can eat crickets instead of Mexican food.
No, this one's about the same level, just for more of the cool factor where it doesn't stand out to me in a big way, but I do like it. So I think it's in kind of that low B, high C range. Like low B sounds right. I'd be fine with either below Nimble or above next to Sombrero Man.
Yeah, I'll put him next to Sombrero Man. I think I like him better than the other one, so we'll just put
Hmm.
them there.
Okay.
All right, so we got a Digimon next. I don't know. I don't know what this dude is, but he's cute. His evolved forms don't look super different. So there's like not as much difference in terms of the evolutions here. But I mean, I like all of them. They're all pretty cute. I think these are what like solid Bs, all three of them.
Yeah, this one's like the new Pika clone that they tend to do every generation. Um, yeah, I think Palmy's the best one, the starting one. Um, like really for all these, I think like low B, high C, particularly for the other two, where it's maybe like low B for Palmy, the first one, and then the other two like higher C for me, where it's just it doesn't change that much, and it feels like one that is a bit unnecessary to have three stages. Um, so I think I would say low B for the first one and then high C for the second two. But if you felt strongly about all of them and B, um, we could do that.
I think they're all cute enough for B. Um, but what I will do is I'll put the first form in between the two crickets, and then the other two behind the crickets.
Yeah, I can respect that. What do you think between the second stage and the third stage?
I think the second stage is
Um,
cuter, so I'd do the second stage
yeah,
above it.
yeah, I agree. Okay, cool.
All right, so now we've got a couple indie game characters for like an indie platformer that's like $5 on Steam. So we've got two mice followed by four mice. I explain.
Yeah, so I guess we got Jerry and Mary here. Um, yeah, Mousehold. Pretty good for like a more generic normal type, competitively. But yeah, just kind of plain. Like these are kind of strange. I feel like they stick out for the wrong reasons, like simplicity wise, but not bad to me. Um, so again, these are like low B, high C for me both. There is so Mousehold, the second stage, there is like a special form that's extremely rare where there's only one child instead of two, which is just bizarre. Um, believe it or not. But really, I mean, I think the second stage is a little more interesting, so I guess I like that one a little bit more. But obviously, you can see it's almost exactly the same. They just gain some little mouse kids.
Yeah, I put them at the top of C, with the evolved form above it. But really, it's just like you just drew more characters. Like the design really hasn't fundamentally changed. Just that they have like two kids. So I put them both at top of C.
Do you want to split up the family and put the little spider in between them?
No, because I don't think the spider is necessarily better than the splitting up the family. I feel like
Okay.
I don't know if there's going to be any design that I'm going to be like, you know what, it's better than the two mice, but not as good as the four mice. Like, I don't know if the family's going to split up. I feel like that's going to be pretty solidly a block.
Yeah, to be fair, they are you know, very similar obviously, but I just like the spider a little more, so I thought I'd at least try.
Oh, we can put the spider above all of them if you want. Like, I'm fine with that.
Sure.
It's just I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think there's a big enough difference between the two evolutions where like we have to find something between them.
fair. Yeah, totally fair. Yeah, I think it's cuter, so yeah, we could put them above then.
All right, so we've got what, a bun dog and then brioche dog.
Yes, Fido, which yes is a doe dog with those doe looking eyes.
So it's interesting. I actually like the
Um,
evolution better than the first form. Um,
definitely. Me too. Yep.
so I guess it's because he's been cooked. Interesting enough. He does not pass the chimichanga barrier for me, the evolved form. But he would go right above the common rider cricket for me. Is where I would put the evolved form.
Okay.
But
That's
if you wanted to rank him higher, I'm not going to fight you too hard on that.
Yeah, this one does make me a little more hungry than Sombrero Man, and I have him right around there in B, just kind of good, not great. Um, so I would put him right above Sombrero Man.
The evolved form. Where would you put the other form though?
The other one I definitely think C. I could see it going below Quackwaval, the final water duck starter. Or it could go right above it if you felt a little more strongly. I don't know what you think about that.
Let's put him above it. I think like him losing to the Ducks seems too sad, so let's put him above it.
Those doe eyes got to you.
Yeah, the
It is cute,
I mean, look, I'm a sucker
just a
for
bit
cute
plain.
things, so.
Yeah,
All right, now this next
fair.
dude that looks like an olive. I'm guessing is like the theme for this one. Then evolving into like an olive tree or something. I mean, this looks like a Gen 1 type design right here. Like I definitely like this first form, very Gen 1 vibes. And then it evolves into something that's like, definitely not Gen 1-esque, but I still like the creativity of where it goes. But like this first one, I could put this first one like up in A, and then the other ones could sort of land wherever, and I'd be fine with them. Like I wouldn't put them in D, but I wouldn't necessarily put them above the first form.
You want to guess what the name of this first one is?
No, because I won't get it.
It's Smoliv.
Smoliv.
So, yep. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I think it's adorable. Great for a grass Pokemon. I think like lower A, like very adorable. Um, so I would put it below Lechonk if you like where that is.
I think he's actually cuter than Lechonk, but I'm not super strong about it, so I'm fine with that where it is.
Okay.
And then how do you feel about these other two forms, which I do like? I don't dislike them, but I don't have very strong opinions on where to place them.
Second one also very cute. Not as adorable, but I'd say a high B. I really like this. I think it could go. I do like it more than Masquerada, but not as much as the second stage. But it's tricky because I do like Skeledirge more.
Well, we can sandwich
So
it
we could,
between put it in B, but like second from the top, in
yeah,
between
yeah, I'm
the
good with
the the
that.
leaf starters. And then how do you feel about this third form?
I do think it's the weakest, but it does look nice. I'm more of like a solid B for this, like very inoffensive, but also like, you know, has some likable characteristics. You know, the kind of olive branch um design going on. Like I do like its arms
How
when you
about
see the
just above
olives
the
there.
the um the first evolution of the cricket?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It seems like a great spot.
All right, and now
So
we
this
have,
next one,
yeah, this is what a
yeah.
Lion King character,
Yeah, so Squawkabilly has
S
like
rank.
many different colors. Oh yeah, for the green
Squawkabilly.
one.
I just realized what they're doing with the hair and the name. Yeah, S rank.
Oh boy. That context is king. Yeah, actually it does have a bunch of different colors. So it doesn't change at all other than just the colors. So
Actually,
I
no. I would
thought
I would put him
one
right below the blue duck. Is where I would put him. Where
this
do you
for
want?
me is high. Yeah, I would say high B. I'm not as in love. Um
Okay, if we're moving him
so
down,
I would, yeah, I would say, I mean, I would put it like just below Skeledirge, but also I could see it above where we just placed the second form of the olive line, right before second stage for the grass starter. But I know you're thinking it sounds like higher A or mid A. So what do you think?
you know what? Let's put him right below Skeledirge. That's the crocodile guy.
Yep, yep, I'm good with that. That would be actually perfect placement for me. So
Yeah, put him there. I mean, I love the name though. The pun got me. As far as the
yeah, the
design,
hair.
not as much, but that pun, that did it for me.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Pokemon, like Game Freak. with some of the names and designs. They definitely have some fun with them. To some people's chagrin, but I usually enjoy when they do things like that.
Oh yeah, I got a comment saying, "Greg, will you call out Game Freak for being a greedy corporation?" And said you won't do it because you're like, a corporate sellout and you're afraid. Like, look, all corporations are greedy. So like, yes, Game Freak, sure, they're a greedy corporation. So are all of them. But that doesn't mean that the artists and creative who work on these games, don't create some amazing art. So that is ultimately the compromise when art is commodified, is that there will be exploitative businesses that take advantage of the art, but it also allows distribution and for us to enjoy it. So sure, Game Freak has issues as a company, so does Disney and Warner Brothers and Square Enix and literally any company that produces art that you like. If you like Thin Lizzy Michael, Universal also has issues. Mercury Records has issues. All these corporations have issues. All right, so this is what, like freaking Mario meets Minecraft, dude. Um,
Yeah, as we're talking about the sediments of Pokemon fans right now, let's look at these salt rocks.
um,
Yeah, so total Minecraft inspiration here, which is kind of wild that it's just so obvious, but
the first one
also like
I like is like sort of like a
like
Mario reference. It's kind of cute in that
hmm
way. The second
yeah, for
form,
sure.
just doesn't do it for me. It looks more like a building than a creature. But the third one I do like. Kind of has like a Golem in the traditional Golem sense. Like
Hmm.
not in terms of like the Pokemon that's called Golem, but just like the traditional mythological creature. Um, so I mean, I do like all of these. Even like the middle one, that is more like the Minecraftian one. So like they all have their place. I never played Minecraft, so I don't care, and I don't have the feels for it. These are all
Hmm.
fine. I could put them. I don't know, like low B. I'd be fine with all of these. Is where my gut placement is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's about where I'm at. The first one is my favorite. Um,
Yeah, mine too. Where do you want to
so
put
and
that one?
these have grown on me a little bit where at first I was like, okay, like, you know, rock salt, like whatever, I get it. And I didn't hate them, but I'm like, they're okay, but they've grown on me a little bit. So I would say higher B for the first one. Um, I think it's pretty cute, really. So I've kind of been placing them a lot. Where do you think, with that said, you'd want to place that one?
Um, hmm, not sure. Oh, hello, friend. Want to say hi to the stream? Let's see if she wants to say hi. Say hello to Cloud. As far as where to place him, I mean, I he would probably land in the restaurant block, by Bread Doggo and Sombrero Crocodile. So maybe like you could put him right in
Okay.
between is where I would put him.
Little bit little bit of like salt on your food. Get
Yeah,
that salt on like your chips and salsa.
yeah, a little bit of salt because we all know Mexican food isn't salty enough.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I don't have super strong feelings, so on this one. So yeah, I let you place him wherever in the food, um, the cornucopia there between the pig and the bread dog,
Yeah, and then
salsa man.
this next one I'd put at the bottom of B is where I'd put the next one, the middle evolution.
Okay. Yeah, I like it a little more than the Palmy line below Nimble, but that's fine. We can put them behind there. Like I don't have strong feelings about that, so that's good.
Yeah, I do like these guys significantly more than him. So that is where my reasoning comes into play. And then the Golem, I would put him below. Actually, I know I put him above Common Rider Cricket, but below Sombrero Crocodile.
I can respect that. I'm good with that. Also, Probably should have mentioned if somebody wants to shoot in the chat, make sure our audio levels are good. I think they are, but if somebody wants to let us know real quick, that'd be awesome.
And actually, I will let
Make sure
you
one of
talk
us
to the
isn't too
chat
quiet.
quick while I run to the restroom. So entertain people.
Awesome.
I believe in you.
Anybody want to share their favorite Pokemon experiences, either from Scarlet and Violet in Gen 9 or just in general? I know I shared at the beginning one of my favorites from when I was in college. It was incredible though. That memory of opening up that special Pokemon Pikachu edition of my Game Boy Color as a little kid, and big way of me getting into gaming. Actually, around the same time, I had Dragon Warrior Monsters, which has now become Dragon Quest. Was also one of my first games. So it was really interesting that my first really formative first experiences with gaming were with a lot of monster capture games, which was really cool. And have some differences there. Playing some Pokemon Stadium. I just love that you could play red, blue, and yellow on the game pack in Pokemon Stadium. And then you could speed it up too, which was nice playing through at times. But yeah, just being able to have it on your TV, it's kind of like a similar-ish feeling to, when we all got the mainline Pokemon games with Sword and Shield on the Switch, where it's like, wow, we have, this console Pokemon. This is like a great, not even backdoor way to have that, but really cool. I
I have
remember I
returned.
still play. Yeah, I was gonna mention it. I still do play every once in a while the mini games in Pokemon Stadium 2 in particular. Some of those are a lot of fun and do hold up. But the gym or sorry, not the gym run, but the mode where you played for the cups, the master rank, that got really hard. Some of those were really difficult, especially using the rental Pokemon. I had I'd asked chat favorite Pokemon memory, either from the series in general or from Scarlet and Violet, but um don't believe we got any takers.
I got it.
Although from a while back, Caveat Zealot said never talking about never thought evolved forms should have counted as separate Pokemon. Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur should all count as number one in the OG Pokedex. So
Yeah,
like you guys might be on a similar wavelength. I think that was the weakest of the three lines, but still like one of the absolute most solid, maybe the most solid like starting three in Pokemon history. Just incredible between all three of the lines being extremely solid, like more than solid. Really pretty fantastic.
I would consider them all to be different Pokemon, and would count them differently on the Pokedex. So I would disagree with that. But I mean, as someone who doesn't really have much familiarity with Pokemon and like the starters of different generations, I mean, obviously Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle have endured for decades for a reason. I think they're just like really iconic. But does that mean they're
Mm-hmm.
necessarily better? Like as much as I love Bulbasaur, I don't think Bulbasaur is that much stronger than Chikorita in terms of design necessarily. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I mean, I have a stronger preference to Bulbasaur, but like, I don't think there's a big gap. In the same way, it's like Final Fantasy VI. Let's bring that up. Where Final Fantasy VI is great, but I don't think it's leaps and bounds better than everything else. Where like the others aren't even in the discussion. Maybe Gen 1 is kind of like Final Fantasy VI in terms of like the designs. We're like, oh man, it's so much better than everything else. And I was like, nah, everything's kind of fine. His, centrist Greg is like, nah, everything's cool. They're just different flavors. Everything's fine.
I hear you. I do miss having more of the old school looking kind of pure monsters. Thinking of like Nidoking and like a Blastoise, sort of kind of like Kangaskhan and things like that. But just those pure like beasts, like pocket monsters that you don't get that vibe as much now. But with that said, I do think, even recent gens and throughout have been really strong, generally, with some big surprises. So while some of the art direction I think with the designs has been a bit disappointing to me, I do think there's a lot of strength in every gen. So yeah, it's been kind of interesting to see like the evolution of them kind of going more rounded and and a bit simpler with the designs.
Yeah, and like
But I
even
mean, also you say,
Gen 1 had some weaker ones, which is like, here's a Pokeball, here's an upside down Pokeball. So it's like, even the better gens have weaker ones, and even the weaker gens have stronger ones, at least from what I've seen. Like there hasn't been just like, oh, this whole generation is trash. Like I think it's all fine.
yeah. So while like I really do love in particular like the first couple gens, and then kind of out of nowhere, Gen 7 I think is extremely strong. But I got to be careful when I say simple later on because really, like you said, I mean, you have like Voltorb and Electrode, and like Seal. It's like it's just a Seal. Like it's not super offensive, but there was some of that back then too. Like so yeah. Anyway,
Tauros is just a bull, it's like, all right.
yeah, yep. Oh, I'm just a bowl.
Although Tauros is a cool looking bull, but this guy is another platformer character. Um,
Charcadet. Actually, trying to remember just like my natural first playthrough. There might have been a couple others, but this was the first shiny I got in Violet through my playthrough. I just naturally found it. And it's funny because this is one of those shinies that I was a bit disappointed in where I did prefer the shiny a little bit, but it evolves. It has these two branch evolutions based on item evolution, and the only thing that changes is the eye color. So it has blue eyes, and then when it evolves, it has the opposite eye color of what the evolution normally would. So Armor Rouge, with kind of the yellow armor to the right of it there, would normally have like a red eye, I think it is, and has like a blue one instead, whereas Sarah Ledge on the right, the purple one, will have a red eye instead of a blue one, from what I remember for the shiny. So it was like I almost passed up the shiny looking at it. I'm like, it looks a little different, like its eye, but I'm like, is that the same? And luckily I ran into it for the encounter and ended up catching it. But yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like, of course, all the shinies I naturally run into, but it was fun because Sarah Ledge, I did one on my party throughout the purple one, and is one of the strongest I think in this gen. So
so where would you place these guys?
yeah, I think a little platformer, not Mega Man's baby here, um, and maybe not Rosemary's either. I think it's cute, but also it's got a cool like feisty factor. I think it's pretty strong for what it is. It is particularly small, I will say, but I think this is really good. Like I could see like a lower A, definitely a higher B. I really like it.
I'm not as hot on him. He does not pass the sombrero barrier for me, but because A is
Uh,
so like minuscule right now, I say we can go ahead and bring him in A and mix it up since you really like him.
Only if you want to. We don't have to
I'm very chill
kind
about
of
this.
put them on a
How do
party
you, how
mode.
do you
All
feel
right,
about
all
moving
right.
the second form of the grass starter up to A? Because I do like him a lot. As we've gone through more of these, we could probably afford to have some more A's, and I do really like that second form grass starter.
I wouldn't be upset about it. I don't agree with it, but I'm not like absolutely not. Like I think it's nice. I do think it's a higher B, but if you're really feeling it,
I'm feeling it,
Greg,
man.
follow your heart.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's good.
All
Let's
right.
get some more A's. And then the second form, looks like when the Fire Nation attacked. Where are we putting him?
Yeah, so this one actually has a pretty good presence on or at least did used to at the very least in VGC competitive. on like Trick Room teams where you kind of flip the speed so that slower Pokemon will move first instead of the faster ones. And is pretty can be pretty nasty as far as hitting power. Um, but yeah, I think it's cool. It does its arms kind of come together and form like a cannon blast, like a cannon blaster. Um, but yeah, I'd say maybe slightly better, if not on par with Charcadet, the uh, pre-evolved form. So yeah, I mean, I could see like a low A. Like, I think it is pretty cool. I think it's nice enough to not stay in B, but like, I don't know. What do you think for Armor Rouge?
Again, he has for me, he doesn't quite pass the salsa barrier. Um,
Oh, okay.
but like it's more just like I like all the other ones above him more. But if you really like him, since we bumped up my grass cat to A, I think we could put him at the bottom of A. I think that's so he can hang out in A. I think that's fine.
Got it. Okay.
So have the grass cat in
Yeah.
between the two of them, and then this final form does very much give me the vibes of a latter day Pokemon design. Um, as someone who doesn't pay too close attention to the designs of latter day Pokemon, I've seen others with this kind of general aesthetic, so this seems very familiar. And so I don't have the nostalgia for this type of Pokemon design, but I have seen a number of Pokemon that look kind of like it. Where would you want to put the final form?
So this is incredible. I had it on my team because it's one of my favorites this generation. While I certainly love my adorable Pokemon too, if I have the preference, I do prefer like the cool designs, and this just oozes cool factor for me. I love this Pokemon. I love the colors. I love the flame on top. I love, how kind of aggressive it looks with its sword arms. So I think this is one of the strongest of the generation. I would rank this the highest at S. Phenomenal design. Does a lot for me.
All right. So you rank it the highest. All right. I'm okay with putting an S. I don't know if it's surpassing Grass Cat for me, but because you feel so strongly about it, we'll put it as the top one over Grass Cat.
Wow, what a gift.
So we've got that at the very top. Me, I would probably put it. It's tricky for me because I stopped playing Pokemon when I did. I stopped playing when Pokemon design started to become like this. So for me,
Hmm.
I just don't have like the connection of like this is what Pokemon is. So it's trickier for me, but yeah, I mean, I think it is a good design. Um, yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't think it's bad. So I'm not like I would not put it at the top of S myself, but it's not like I don't think it's like D either. So I'm not like gonna fight too hard on it.
Okay, are you kind of like in the B range on it then?
I mean,
Something like that?
the trick is like Sombrero alligator is really becoming more of like a powerful creature in my psyche. Um,
Oh man, as Greg gets more and more hungry.
right, as I get more and more hungry, because I had a big breakfast, but I didn't eat anything else today. Because usually I eat just like one meal a day, and that sort of like holds me over. Um,
Hmm.
although I did have a brownie as a snack. Um,
The
but
Pokemon are making you hungry for more.
it's really just that and watching that Casa Bonita video last night is just it's a bad combination.
That's great.
Yeah, but I mean and also like because it is so goofy of just like the flame sombrero, like sort of the best Pokemon designs for me are usually like is it cute or is it stupid, and then is it both? That one is cute and stupid, so I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Wow. Well, I mean, you don't have to give me such a big gift. I mean, normally, not to just walk away from it, but
You know what?
if
Take
you're
it.
that far from it,
The only other thing I might want to do is like I might put the grass starter ahead of it, but I might want something from you in the future where we might have a big disagreement. So I'm gonna give you this now under the assumption that like maybe there'll be one where I'm like really feeling it, and you're just like, nah, dude, this is D. I'm like, nah. So I don't know. I'm putting this in the back pocket just in case.
All
And
right,
I
we
don't
shall
disagree with it
remember
so
this.
strongly
We're
where I feel bad about it if that's where it ended up at the end.
got it. Okay. All
And
right, but
also
you
acknowledging
think
my
Sarah Ledge?
biases, of like, oh, I just didn't, play those latter Pokemon generations. Where like certain people,
Okay.
like Final Fantasy fans, like old school fans, just like Nomura's art isn't Final Fantasy, and I'm just like, nah,
Ooh.
it is. It's been like part of a lot of the biggest ones, and so I'm looking at it from the perspective like, let's say a Genwunner is like someone who stopped after the SNES era and then just doesn't consider
Hmm.
anything that came after that, after that real Final Fantasy or real Pokemon. Like I acknowledge this is a type of Pokemon design that has become very popular. It's just I missed out on it. And so I'm working with my biases as well.
Got it.
So yeah,
So
I'm fine
wait,
with it
so
ranked
just
at
to
the
be
top.
clear, since I am so invested in this one, if it was just your ranking, where would you put it?
That's
Like
that's
I know. Go
if
ahead.
it was just my ranking, because the rank would look very different. Like, uh, freaking sombrero guy might also be an S. Um,
That is wild to me.
yeah. So as far as like where he would end up, I think he would actually end up. I would probably put the first form of like the Pikachu ripoff above the Golem and below the sombrero guy. But then I would
Hmm.
have this dude right below the first form of the Pikachu ripoff. So it would still be one of the higher ranking ones. Um, but
So
he
maybe
would
higher B then.
yeah, well, but it'd be higher B because a lot of these Bs I'd probably bump up. Like the bread dog would
Okay.
probably get bumped up. Um, you know, uh, Elvis Parrot would get bumped up. So there'd be a lot bumped up. Blue Duck would be bumped up to S. So it'd be a different ranking. But this would be one of the higher ones we've done so far. It's just not a Mexican restaurant mascot.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. I was just curious.
It looked like a cool boss fight in another Eden, not a Mexican restaurant mascot.
Yeah. That seems like a fair description. So we have a Tadbulb here. Um, I think cute little light bulb, sort of tadpole, little monster. Um, I I'd say like lower B or high C.
I'm not as hot on this
I
one.
would have liked a little less gray. The yellow's nice.
I don't know. It almost looks like this one looks almost too Western for me. It looks like
You're
like the
like,
one.
you're looking for your polywag.
Yeah, like this looks
You're like,
like
this isn't a tadpole.
to me. This looks like a character from a Pixar movie. Which don't get me wrong, like there's an
Hmm.
endearingness to the design of it, but it looks so like Western. At least the first form. The second form looks like a Pokemon. The first form, like straight up, looks like a Pixar character. Which don't get me wrong, like is still like pleasant, but it doesn't give off Pokemon vibes to me. It's not real Pokemon if it's designed by Nomura. Uh, so I would put this right above the like Minecraft Pokemon. So like not at the bottom of B, but like just above the bottom of B is where I would
That
put
is the
him.
exact that's the exact spot I was thinking. So we're right in sync.
And then the second form I like more. But I don't know if I like him more than the Pikachu ripoff, so I'd put him right above his like previous form is where I'd put him, the evolved form.
Yeah, so this one's silly. They're kind of translating over the face, which potentially looks stranger on the first one, but that's You could argue not, but the actual face is the drawn on looking one, not the
Oh,
eyes on the
okay.
side.
That's pretty clever. I would still, yeah, but that does look more Pokemonish when it's done that way. But I would put it above the first one, but underneath the Pikachu guys.
I'd be okay with that. I'd put it below Nimble, I guess, but that's fine. We can put it right above Tadbulb, little belly bolt.
We've got some bird guys next.
Yes, which for some reason I shiny hunted for, but there's not a whole lot of difference. I do love my shiny hunting.
I mean these look like pleasant enough bird Pokemon. They do look like Pokemon designs. So like I feel like if I had grown up with this instead of like Pidgeot and Pidgeotto, I'd probably have the nostalgia for this one. But I just didn't.
Hmm.
But this looks like an objectively good bird Pokemon design. So I mean, uh, and the freaking chimichanga barrier each time. Yeah, I'd put them. You know what? I would say these two I would put right below the the first form of the Pikachu ripoff guy, and I'd put the evolved form above the first form. So we have the Pikachu ripoff guy, then we have older bird, then I would put younger bird is where I would put them.
Okay, I do like Kilowattrel better, the evolved form. The first form I like, but I think I'm like higher C on. So I'd definitely go a little bit higher if you looking like more like lower B.
So where do you want to
He's
put
got a
them?
nice little smile. I was thinking higher C, but you're a little bit higher, so we could go low B if you want to meet in the middle there.
Yeah, so the first form where we put in that one. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out where it's going.
Oh, that's all right. We could split up the two frogs if you wanted. Put it right in the middle,
Yeah,
or you
that
want to
work.
do a little higher?
That I could put it even above. I could put above the frog actually, but I'd put it below the two evolved Pikachu guys.
Okay, let's do that.
And then the other one, the evolved form, I do like more. Um, I would put him right above the olive tree, but below the first form of the Pikachu.
Okay. This one I'm high B on.
I can do
So
that. This one has flexibility. Like this could be top of B. I'd be fine with it.
okay. Yeah, I think maybe right above Squawkabilly. What do you think? Right below Skeledirge?
Yeah, that works.
Great. All right, and I will be right back real quick.
All right, and I will talk to the
You want to
chat.
go ahead and yeah, say hey to chat.
No one is talking to me in the chat. I missed a call from my dad. I should probably call him. What does he want? Called him the other day. Well, chat, I hope you're enjoying the stream. This is a Genwunner just ranking these Pokemon pretty randomly and haphazardly with a friend who knows what he's doing. Uh, as far as no, because I've already seen what kind of what we've got coming up. That looks like a tadpole. These guys look like sushi. That guy looks like a Wobbuffet. These look like Tauros. Kind of looks like those look familiar. I think that maybe those are the legendaries. I think there's a steel bear down here. We still that's like a cherry. Like a mixing pot.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was just looking at some of the Pokemon we have. Um,
Oh, okay.
coming up. because while I was just sitting waiting for chat, and chat's not responding. So let's move on to the next one. We've got a couple doggos. We've got sad dog and sad old dog. First one is straight up just like a Disney character design. Actually, so is kind of the second one too. Although the second one looks like a cross between Disney and Pokemon. Um, yeah, I don't have strong opinions on these ones. So what do you feel about these dogs?
Yeah, so the first one is Mabostiff. And these are kind of like dark, like more like crime kind of sort of Don like themed dogs, especially the second one, more Don themed. So kind of interesting. I like the mouth on the first one, and I do like the color of the red. Where the mouth, it kind of looks like sort of like grizzled or kind of like a like facial hair. Um, but I'm not in love with it, so I think I'm like high C on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think High C is fine. I like the Bun Dog better actually.
Yeah, for sure.
So that actually would be more like middle low C, where's where he would end up if he's in between Bun
Um,
Dog and Bluebird.
Bun Dog in higher B.
Oh, I thought we were talking about C, is what you said.
Yeah, yeah, and C.
In C, so we've got the third form of the
Oh,
yeah, I thought
Fido. Yep, sorry, Fido.
yeah, and then where would you put the evolution?
Yeah, and I think that's a good spot. I think Fido, its adorableness reigns over it a little bit. Yeah, we got the Don Corneo dog over here. Catch him in Wall Market. Um, I don't know. It's like so neutral looking almost that it's just kind of muted for me. Um, I maybe like it a little bit less. Like I get what they were going for, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me. Not bad though. Um, maybe maybe just below Quackwaval, the final water duck. Where do you think you'd put him?
I think that's fine. He looks
Okay.
kind of sad, so I don't want to put him at the bottom of C, so we'll put him there. Like if they look sad, I
Okay.
feel bad about ranking them low. It just makes me feel like I'm a bad person. Like I'm just being extra mean, kicking it while it's down. All right, so what is this? Like a tick or flea or what is this thing?
Yeah, so the second form is like is it called an eye animal? It's called graphii, where it's like it like draws and makes graffiti. So you see kind of the paint on its hands, and I like the color of its eyes. And the first one's kind of like a little baby one. I mean, yeah, honestly, it does look a little bit like a tick, but um, yeah, I think the baby's adorable. Well, pretty cute, but just not a whole lot going on. Like fairly simple, but pretty good.
Yeah, I think the baby again, this Pikachu knockoff guy is cute. I think the baby doesn't pass the first form Pikachu knockoff barrier for me. But
Hmm.
has some flexibility otherwise where I might rank him like at the bottom of B, but if you wanted to rank him higher than that, I wouldn't fight too hard.
No, I think he's maybe like higher C for me. So we could put him where you want in low B.
All right, yeah, so we'll put him at the bottom of B. And then how do you feel this evolution I think is actually kind of cool, has like some edge to him. So I might rank him even higher. I don't know. I think this one has some flexibility to like could even break the Mexican restaurant barrier. Um I've got some room to move with this one. How do you feel about the evolved form?
Yeah, let's snap the chip. I like how cool this one is. It doesn't like scream at me amazing, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty strong. So I would say maybe right above Sombrero Man. What do you think? Where would you put him?
I could put him above Squawkabilly.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, let's do that. Because I think it's a unique design. It's got some edge to it. So yeah, yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Although
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Sombrero Man would rank higher on my ranking. It's more just I'm looking at like what's in
hmm
between. So in in my ranking, Sombrero Man is bumped up to S at this point. But I'm looking at who's above Sombrero Man, where like, okay, Squawkabilly would rank below Sombrero Man for me. So I'm like having to factor in a number of things. Because so many of those above Sombrero Man are not above Sombrero Man in my heart.
yeah, for sure. Totally understand that. I do really like poison types. It's up there as one of my favorites. And this Pokemon is poison, I believe normal as well. I just wish like there were more tools with him, like they did a little more, because he's like pretty cool, but like didn't quite hit that, team of six for me in my playthrough. So,
I hear ya.
but yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Next, we've got some like Yoko Taro characters. What are these guys? What's going on with them?
Yeah, we've got some tumbleweeds, my friend. Um, we got is it Bramblin and Bramblegast? Yeah, so I did for a bit have one of these on my team, kind of like a ghost grass tumbleweed. Not a lot going on, but I think for what it is, it's pretty good. Um, I do. Oh, it's tough to say which one I like more. They're both pretty close. But the first one I think is cuter for me, but the second one's got more of a cool factor. Where do you think you'd put them?
So many of these are tough to get past the Pikachu knockoff because that does scream to me like a classic Pokemon design. Like it just feels like
hmm
Pokemon for me. So these guys I would put solidly in B, but that first form of the Pikachu of this generation is just that's like a hard line for a lot of them to beat.
Okay. Do you have a preference between the two?
I think it would sort of alter based upon my mood. I think I prefer the first one a little bit right now. But I could see like my mood
hmm
changing. Um, I wish there was a bit more distinction between the two, other than like the facial features, because otherwise they aren't super different. Uh,
Definitely.
so I would put them. I'd probably put them right above the tadpole light bulb, and I'd put the first form above the second form.
I'd be good with that. Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have put the first one above the Palmy line, like the second and third
We can do that. We can
Palmo and
split them up
Palmot.
and have just this weird
Okay.
gap between them for mostly unjustifiable reasons, given how similar the designs are. Let's do that, just because that's wonderfully stupid, and the internet loves stuff like that.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so we can yeah, and if you want to put them below the two in the Palmy line, like not above the first one, but I'd be okay with the putting the first one above those other two, but I know these are pretty similar, so
Now we'll have that. We'll have the gap, so it'll be above the second and third forms, but underneath the cricket.
Okay, gotcha. So the first one above the bird, and then the second one below um
So
the
the
light bulb.
so yeah, so the second form
Light bulb.
is in between the frog. So you got the frog thing that evolves from the light bulb, and that second form is in between those two. If you actually,
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, and you have them above the two Palmo and Palmot. I think that's yeah, exactly where I put the first one too. So awesome.
all right. So next up, it's looks like what evolutions of Tentacruel? Is this like another line of that, or is this a different Pokemon completely?
Yeah, so this was the first generation to do these it's like an unofficial fan term like regional fake, but essentially it's kind of like, hey, here's this Pokemon that looks like an old one, but it's not that. It's like a different type of creature. And it's kind of supposed to be humorous. So these were really interesting in this new generation. Um, so Toad School and Toad Scrool, I believe they're called.
I mean, I like them. They remind me of Gen 1 Pokemon, which I know the point. And I wonder, like, man, is Nostalgia Bait really working? Because these ones would rank pretty high for me. How do you feel about them?
And and they I will say they are kind of grass like forest types, and instead of being jellyfish in the water,
Uh huh.
they're like these, especially the first one I think is hilarious. They're like you see them and they're like walking in the forest like mushrooms with these weird like legs. Like I think the first one's even better. I don't love the like nose look for Toad Scrool. But the first one I find extremely funny, so it works for me. Um, I think I'm around like high B for Toad School.
I could put these both in A, honestly. Both of them I
I'd be
really
okay
like.
with, yeah, the second one I'm not as hot on, but I'd say more like solid B. But if you feel strongly, we can hike it up to A.
I think we can put both of them up in A. And that first form we could put as high in A as you want.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough because some of these I'd have it above or below. I think them both as the last two in A, I think would be good.
All right. Then we got a crab, hairy crab.
Yeah.
This one I'm not
Um,
as hot on. I could put it like I'd put this actually at the bottom of C or yeah, bottom of C is where I put them.
yeah, this one it's kind of like this goofy rock crab. It's pretty simple. Um, yeah, I think maybe like I could see it either above the Dawn Dog or above Oinkalone, or you know, we could put him last and see if you don't want him quite that high. But yeah, I think just like a solid C, like pretty inoffensive, but not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, because I'm not hot on him, and I do like that green guy we have at the bottom of C. I do actually like that design. I think it's pretty cool. So I don't,
Okay,
I'd prefer him not ranking at the bottom of C because I do like that design quite a bit.
all right.
Uh,
Where do you yeah, where do you want to put him above that then?
oh no, he's fine. We'll put him bottom of C, but then put the crab right below him. Because I know you just don't like
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
design.
yeah.
So we'll have the crab at the bottom of C, and then green spider guy is no longer at the bottom of C.
Okay. So this the next one is kind of like a little grass pepper, um, sort of like, you know, with a seed. Um, let's see. It's kind of got an interesting little like orange like nose beak going on, but I like this. I remember seeing these running around and thinking, what in the world is this? Um, but it doesn't do a massive amount for me. Um, I'd say it's maybe around higher C.
Um, yeah, I think that's fine for it. For me, he does not pass the Mexican restaurant barrier. So where do you want to put him?
Hmm. Um, I'd be okay above the mouse family. Uh, if you feel differently, we could shift it a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. And what do you think about the second form? I think the second form is maybe better than the first.
Yeah, really cool. I like this. I don't think it's amazing, but like I like the kind of double head. Like I am kind of like a Hydra Cerberus fan, so doing that with the different peppers I think is fun. The body does look fairly disconnected and a bit of a disjointed way though, so that would keep it from A tier for me, where I think this would be like firmly in B, but maybe not like a higher B for me personally, where it's like fun and kind of cool, but a little bit disjointed looking.
What if we put him right between the second and third forms of the Pikachu ripoff guy, just to split them up?
Yeah, yeah, that'd be good. I would love it above Palmont, the third form. So yeah, that's good.
All right, this next one, it's like a chocolate ball crushing a tick.
Yeah, it's maybe a chocolate ball or something else.
Rare candy.
It's something.
Is it poop? What is it?
It's yeah, it's a dung beetle.
Got it. Oh, and those are like worms, and then its evolved form is like purple poop.
Yeah, it's interesting. They took a kind of an interesting direction where it's this like psychic bug, kind of like higher like level, like evolved like bug being, where it's kind of got this intelligence, sort of got like a higher special attack.
You know what? I
So I
could
like the colors.
I can put these both in D. I don't want to look at poop. I'm fine with
Yeah, and listen, yeah, this is like grandpa like bug, like here, like the second one, like it's got some weird elder vibes that don't fully work for me. It's not in like a fun way, it's in a weird way.
I mean, honestly, I actually like the grandpa vibe if it wasn't for the poop. But like the whole poop aspect is like I'm just putting them at the bottom of D, both of them.
Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't mind putting the first one above the second stage water, but yeah, we can keep them very last. And
Yeah,
and I would say the second form is worse.
I
I
like the
like the
second form a
colors,
lot
but
more. Actually, I would put the second form above the first form
okay.
because I think that the
Well,
colors
yeah,
are
well,
fun. It's not as
that's true.
obviously poop when it's purple. It like got the grandpa vibes. Versus the other one's just like here's me with some poop. Like yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we can put the more teal looking green one in the middle there then.
Yeah, this is the first time where I felt my Genwunner come out of just like that's a bad design. Why would you do that? That is the first time the Genwunner in me has come out. I'm just like, all right, no, like that is my limit. Is like when you're literally carrying around poop. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah,
Poop with worms in it.
that's
No,
funny.
stop.
Yeah, we roughly got around halfway where it finally came out, showed itself.
Right where the
It's
Genwunner's
funny.
like that's not a reasonable design. All right, this
So
next
yeah,
one
this
looks like it's
yeah, it's
like an ostrich. It evolves into like an ostrich type thing. I like these. These feel like, classic iconic Pokemon designs. I could put these ones. I've got some flexibility for where to put them. How do you feel about these two?
these are psychic Pokemon, and I have a real soft spot for psychic Pokemon. I think it's a really cool type that you can do some really fun things with. And I really wanted to love Espathra, the second form here, the ostrich, more than I do. And I do really like it. There's just something that like doesn't quite hit the mark with me where I'm like, it's one of those odd ones where I really want to like it more than I do, like absolutely love it. And I just still really like it. So it didn't end up on my team. But and the first one's Flittle. It's kind of weird. Like they're both like sort of like party balloon, like kind of decorations is kind of the theme. And obviously the second one turns out to be more like a party decoration ostrich. So, I do like the use of colors, but overall, like it just doesn't fully come together. So I think they're like pretty strong B tier for me, both. Whereas the first one is more cute, and the
Mhm.
second one is just like very interesting, but like doesn't fully come together. So like wouldn't quite make A for me. Which one do you prefer out of the two?
Of the two, probably the first form. Again, sucker for the cute, and again, it does not pass the faux Pikachu barrier. Um, because that one like is just cuter. But I'd be fine with it basically ranking anywhere else in B, just not passing fake Pikachu first form.
It's interesting. It's interesting that Espathra kind of has a bit of that Egyptian vibe going with the hairstyle. I feel kind of the cut.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I do like the second one better, even though like I feel like there was more missed potential, whereas the first one is just kind of more like not super simple, but it's like it's kind of simple, cute. The colors work. Um, but yeah, I would put these higher in B, especially based on what we have. I could see them like around the nimble, like the little cricket, or I could see them even higher, like below Grafii. And like I said, I do have a bit more preference for the
You got to
ostrich.
start giving me the
But
nicknames because I don't know which ones you're talking about.
oh yeah, so Grafii is the little eye that has the graffiti like the paint with the
Oh,
interesting
oh,
eyes just
got it.
above Squawk. Yep. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are
So
the two kind of general areas. Yep.
all right. So yeah. So we've got a little bit of difference because I'm feeling below Pikachu ripoff, and you're feeling above um, graffiti guy. So there is a gap in between. And you like the second
Yeah,
form better, you said?
I do. But I could see also right below Nimble, kind of more in the very middle of the tier, like two kind of more natural places. But what do you think?
Which one is Nimble?
Oh, sorry, right above the first tumbleweed form. So
Uh,
two
yeah,
below
yeah,
the
that feels pretty good. So the which one is going to be right above that? The second form or the first form? The peacock or baby
um
peacock?
yeah, I mean I'd probably put them both around this area, obviously, even though I have a bit more separation between the two. Like maybe I'd put the ostrich higher, a little higher in B and Flittle around here, but we could keep them next to each other. And you prefer the first one, so if you want to put that one above it, I wouldn't fight you too much.
All right, how about this? We put the second form above the first form of the cricket, and then we have the so baby ostrich is on the right of the cricket. Adult ostrich is on the left of the cricket.
um yeah, I'd be good with that.
Because like my difference between liking the first form better isn't that strong, and I could go either way. So it's just like I like the first one a little bit more, but I could like easily switch my opinion.
Got it.
All right, another indie platformer character. Um,
We got Bubsy's little sister.
yeah. So I'm realizing with a lot of these newer Pokemon, I think the thing that throws me off with a lot of them is the choice of what they're doing with their eyes. I think that
Mm.
I don't like the lack of pupils in a lot of the designs, and that makes them feel like a bit more alien, a lot of them.
This one does have a bit more of that doll like pure kind of little shiny silver eyes to it, and I can see why that might not be as like likable. Why you might
Yeah,
not
I
like it
think
as
the
much.
earlier gens did have the pupils in the eyes, and that's not to say that like some of them don't work. Like there's like three in a row this like silver like dragon guy where I think the eyes work very well there. He's got like yellow eyes. Um so I think it's just a matter of, but a lot of them just like feel like weird and soulless the way the eyes are, or feel like they're from a different
Hmm.
franchise. So I kind of get where Genwunner might say like this doesn't feel like Pokemon to me. Where I still think it's good, but it does feel different. I do acknowledge that, but I wouldn't say it's bad
Hmm.
either. I think it's just like we're just doing different things. Um, I don't know. These are fine. She's got a hammer. It looks like.
Yeah, where do you think you'd put it?
It's tricky because a lot of this is like I don't think it's objectively bad, but I vibe with stuff that feels more like traditional Pokemon, like the starters very much feel like traditional classic Pokemon. Like they would fit in Gen 1 very well, and I vibe with it. Or the faux Pikachu feels like he would be in Gen 1 very well. Um, and this just feels, like a different franchise. It's Final Fantasy 13. It's not real Final Fantasy. So, uh, man, all right. Looking at these, um, I would put these all in low B above the Pixar tadpole.
So I like that for the first form. So this is the Tinkaton line, and the third one in particular is really well loved by fans. I used one on my team. I'm sure you see kind of that like anime inspiration of like, small girl, small woman, big weapon, big hammer,
Yeah.
steel fairy type. That's like, kind of a rarer type combination. So it works for me, particularly on the third form. I think each stage gets better for me, where the first one I would probably put exactly where you have it. I do like the silver eyes, even though I do understand they can be kind of maybe a little have a little dissonance, um, or just be not as interesting, a little more dead looking. Um, the second one, I think I would put above the electric yellow bird, but below Skeledirge, the
The
final
electric yellow
fire
bird,
starter form.
where so I'm sorry,
Top
which
of B.
top of B? Oh, I see. So second form you'd put in between the uh crocodile and the bird is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't necessarily love the shape of the hammer, but I do like how it's gotten more aggressive, and
I
I do
think
like the colors of the
Yeah, I
line.
think that's fine. So first form above Pixar Tadpole, second one
Hmm.
below Mexican restaurant Crocodile final form, and then the third one, which you said is the best. Um, you know,
Yeah,
uh,
this one's.
is that
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
is that like solid A? Is that S for you? Because like I like the tentacruel mushrooms more than this guy, this girl. So I would be fine with
Okay.
bottom of A. But if you're like feeling really hot on it, um, the only thing I would really push as a bear is like not above the blue duck first form.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tinkaton here with the big old hammer. Um, yeah, I love this. Like it's really appealing to me. I like the look of the hammer. I like the colors. I just like the whole vibe. So yeah, for me, like I think very solid A, and I would put it above Armor Rouge, but also I love uh the
Is Armor is the first or
Toad
second
School.
form of that guy?
The yellow armor, more Mega Man look. So I would be fine with putting Tinkaton in between the Toad School and Toad Screwl.
Yeah, that works for me.
Um, okay, cool. Yeah, I Toad School is just hilarious walking around. It's so silly. It works for me. So I don't know. I like them both near the same, but it sounds like you're lower B on Tinkaton, so like I think that's
So
a solid compromise.
the trick is, I actually think it's a really good design. It's just the weirdness for me is when it's nets to other Pokemon, where it just feels like this is like a cool character from like a hip Flash game, like an alien hominid type
Hmm.
thing, where it just like has that like or what was that, like Super Meat Boy? Just like it feels like it has like that very like Flash animation style to it, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon, and so like the dude we have at the top of S, like I get the design of that more as a Pokemon because like okay, it's like Mewtwo, it's more angular, it's sharp. Like I understand that kind of Pokemon more than these like weird Flash game characters, where I still think like it's a
Mm-hmm.
great design, but it's just because I'm not as used to them in the context of Pokemon, it throws me off as like, oh, this is a Pokemon where it looks like this is like a really cool indie platformer you discover on Steam. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah, you revved up sounds like basically from Gen 2 up to the latest here at Gen 9. It's a big leap.
Yeah, so I'm, jumping in with that. But I mean, I think it's a good design. It's just adjusting to the differences and then, balancing out not just being an old person who doesn't like any changes, but also recognizing I know I do have preferences.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so with all that said, if it was just you, what tier would you put it in?
I think this one might be like bottom of A. Like the list would be look pretty different, but this might make A just for
Yeah.
like objective quality, not necessarily in terms of
Okay.
like
Yeah.
preference as a Pokemon, but like in terms of me saying like, is this a good design? Yes. It's like it's so different, it's out there. I don't know if it fits in, but do I think it's objectively good? Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we're pretty close on it then. Just a little bit of difference it sounds like. So I'm sure this next one you recognize a little bit.
So like Doug Trio and Diglett, but worms.
They're eels actually. They're like water types.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like that.
It's they're so silly. I do really like the colors for uh what Wug Trio, the second one, I guess it is.
Yeah.
And then the which is hilarious, Wiglet is the first one. Like, you know.
Yeah, as far as where to put these, I mean, it's hard because like the Gen 1 nostalgia bait. Um it almost makes it like feel like it's unfair because you have like fresh, more interesting designs of like, actually doing something new versus just like this is nostalgia bait, but also it's fun nostalgia bait. So it's really
For
tricky.
sure.
Um
Yeah, absolutely. I think they knew what they were doing with this first one, just with the naming and everything.
you know what? I would put these guys below Faux Pikachu because I think that is actually a really really good design, really cute. I think that one, I think the first form of Faux Pikachu is probably a little bit too low. Um, and so it doesn't pass the Faux Pikachu barrier for me. It doesn't pass the Mexican restaurant barrier or the bread dog for me personally.
Yeah, I'd be totally good with putting Wiglet right below Pawmi, the first Pikachu clone, the first form. Wiglet's a little bit lower for me, but still good. I like the colors. It just
So, oh
I
wait,
don't
so
know. It's just like Doug
which one are
Tree.
we doing? Was that the second form or the first form was going right below Faux Pikachu?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first form, which I was too. Wiglet, the white one.
Yeah, so we're putting that right below Pikachu. What about the second form?
Yeah, that seems like a perfect spot because I do like it. Um, the second one I don't like as much. It's kind of like the Doug Trio effect for me, where it's just not as interesting. But I do get like, hey, it's a rock. The eels are peeking out. I do like the color. Um, but yeah, just not as fun. So for me, this one's in C, and I have some flexibility in C as far as where it could go. But what do you think? Do you think it's closer to Wiglet?
I think I would put in B. I would put it above Pixar Tadpole.
Okay. Um, that'd be a fine spot.
It's not that far
Sure.
away from where you had. It's just like a couple spots higher.
Look at us just accumulating the B tiers.
And actually, Pixar
Classic tier
Tadpole,
list.
I would maybe want to put at the bottom of B now that I'm looking at this. Because I think the Minecraft one is more like unique and weird. I think that's kind of fun, and I think the tick is cuter. So I would actually put Pixar Tadpole at the bottom of B. How do you feel about that?
I'd be okay with that. Um, yeah.
Okay, looks like we got
Oh,
a bird.
yeah, Bombardier. It's like a stork, and it like holds the that part of the front of it that's drooping down in its mouth to kind of create like a cradle to hold, you know, like something as in a baby. There isn't a baby in there, but it's just kind of fun. However, with Bombardier, it holds like rocks. And basically the idea is that it just, lets them go as it's flying above. Um, so I really like this. I think it's fun. There's a bit that's plain about it, but I do think there's some good creativity here. I had one of these on my team for a while during my playthrough, um, and I really like it. Um, I'm higher B on this one. What about you? What do you think of it? Are you still there?
Oh, sorry, I was muted because I was coughing. I could put this one right as far as like high B. I would put this one below the Elvis bird personally.
Oh, okay. I'd be all right with that. I'm a little higher on it, but that's pretty close to where I'd have it. So yeah, we can go ahead and put it right above Oink Alone.
So these dolphins look very similar. Are they even different Pokemon? These two dolphins?
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure we had these both here, but it's kind of funny. So, Finizen is the first one, which I ended up getting a shiny of too in my playthrough and used it on my team for a while. But it's silly because when it evolves, it becomes Palafin and it gets that heart on its belly. So kind of Palafin, like friendship dolphin. So it's got the heart. However, when you use it in battle, um, essentially after you switch it out and it switches back in, it's basically like Aquaman, where it's got this form, which is the third one here, that looks a lot different, and it becomes like a lot more powerful. Like it's got a very high attack. So I like that creativity of it, where it's like this superhero. It's like, oh, I don't want anybody, to know my identity, but it's very lackluster, just evolving it and having a heart add to its belly.
But then it's I so basically it has the ability to transform in battle into the superhero. Basically, like you switch it out and then it comes back as the superhero. but
That's
these,
right. And then
but
it'll
they're still the same
it,
Pokemon. It's just a different like outfit or whatever.
yeah, so the second one and the third one are the same Pokemon. The first one is technically the first form. So that's what's weird. Is
I
like
actually
imagine
love
if
this. I think that's a hilarious troll of how minor the difference
yeah,
is. And then the
I was
superhero
thinking
thing.
this yeah, I was thinking this would get some Greg love.
So how high an S are we putting these?
Oh jeez. I will say that so people were clamoring for a dolphin Pokemon, and spoiler alert with all these gens, this is the first one we've gotten. Um, but yeah, what I will also add real quick too is the way you evolve it, like the first form, you have to like be in like the I think they call it like the friendship circle or plaza. So you essentially have to like be playing co-op, which you can't like necessarily like battle together in that. You can just see each other in the world. So that is another element of kind of this friendship dolphin thing. So like I kind of get what they're going for there, but it makes it a little tedious when you're just trying to play through and fill your Pokedex. But um yeah, I mean I really like the dolphin, particularly the first form. Um I and the I too. I'm like lower A on it. I'm not quite S. I think it is adorable and a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, because I'm basically considering all three of these to be basically one Pokemon because that hilarious troll is like this entire thing is just a great troll. So you said okay, all right, how about compromise right underneath second form grass cat. All three of these in a bunch.
Sure. Yeah, I can compromise there. I think this is a really strong dolphin design. In a weird way, which you're probably gonna disagree, I kind of want to put the heart one lower just because of how lackluster it
Oh no,
is,
I'm putting
but
the
I
heart
do
one at the
really,
top. The heart one at the top because it's such a
okay.
stupid troll and I love it.
Yeah, which by the way, we'll get to another one of those coming up here, but
That's
um
tremendous. I'm sorry, that is hilarious. I
yeah,
love it.
and I get like, hey, it's the same thing, but it's got this kind of fun, cute heart, but also it's like an evolution. So it is,
No,
if
that's
you
why it's so
it's
hilarious
different
because it's
ways.
such a stupid evolution where there's like barely a noticeable difference. That is so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's very silly. So yeah, I get that. It doesn't work for me fully, but I don't hate it either.
You have to remember, I love
So
stupid
you
things. This is great.
yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the times they work for me too, but this definitely is not bad, and all around just really good designs,
Yeah.
pretty strong.
You're
So
you're
are you
speaking to a
saying you
man
put the
whose one of his favorite movies is Surf Ninjas, so I love stupid things.
oh yeah, nice. So are you thinking the more hero form Aquaman one? Are you putting that one third then?
That's third, yes.
Okay, that's fine. I think it is fun and it's more cool, but I don't love the feet, so I'm fine with it going below.
I actually might like it the best of the three, but the troll aspect and not wanting to break up those two that are identical is why he ranks third. So like actually I like that
It's
design the
in
best, but the troll
yeah,
aspect is why those two have to rank above him.
and it's interesting because it's kind of in a similar vein, that aspect, but just of like the, superhero hiding its identity. Why I love the idea of the third one. So it's like back and forth for me, like pros and cons, but just design wise, I don't like the look quite as much. So it's like, does it go a bit below? Maybe. But it's a really cool idea. So, and like I said, its attack goes really high. So, anyway, yeah.
Okay, so next up, what even are these guys supposed to be? Like a can
Yeah,
opener and like a A guy from Haiti? I don't even know. Like,
No, Greg, these are the Revavroom line. It's like a muffler and like a car, like a little engine,
oh, got it.
and it's got like little like rock wheels basically, and they're like steel poison, which I think is fun.
Yeah, these look fun. I don't know. These seem like solid Bs. These could honestly go pretty much anywhere in B, and I'd be fine with it. They could even go at the top of B. Uh, for me, they don't necessarily beat the Mexican restaurant barrier. But I think these are good designs and feel like something I could see like in Gen 2. So I'm definitely down with wherever you want to put them.
Okay, yeah, I like the second one a little bit more. But yeah, I had these on my team for a while, and these are a higher B for me. I'd even put them at the very top if you were feeling that high on them, a
We can do
B.
that. So
Do you
you
have a
said,
preference between the two?
oh, let's put the second one at the very top of B. And actually, let's have the Olive Girl in between the two of them just to break them up.
I'm good with that. Yeah, because I think the second one, while pretty similar in how much I strong I think they both are, I think the second one is particularly a little bit more strong. Not a massive gap, but so yeah, that sounds good.
All
So
right.
this is interesting because we'll get into more of these paradox forms coming up, but with Scarlet, there was a bit more of a theme of the past, and with Violet, there was a bit more of a theme of the future.
Okay.
And the box legendaries are past and future forms of this Pokemon, Cyclizar, where it's like this little dragon lizard. It's like this one's normal dragon. And this is just kind of the everyday, like, people would ride these, and these are kind of like your bikes, um, or like, more simple motorcycles, basically. So it's like kind of interesting. You see a bit of that wheel more so like on the front of it, if it was maybe more like on all fours.
Uh huh.
But yeah, this is kind of like the present day form of the two box legendaries, which is a really interesting idea. They hadn't really done anything like that before. And like I said, the paradox forms were new for this generation. They were kind of like a different category of legendaries, like definitely different and not legendaries, but also like more, kind of detailed designs, with some, higher stats than average for sure, fairly high. So this one to me is plainer, but it's kind of an interesting idea. So I don't know where would you rank Cyclizar?
Um, I mean, I like this. Feels very much like a Pokemon design.
Hmm.
So this one, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty flexible with it. This one could go up to A, bottom of A.
Mm. What if we did like higher or maybe mid B? Because I'm closer to like a pretty low B on this one, where I do like it, but it's pretty simple. Um,
All right, how about
unless you feel really strongly about
right
A.
below the Mexican restaurant, sombrero.
Sure, you thinking above then?
No, I was saying so we can put them right below the Mexican restaurant barrier.
Okay, sounds good.
And then next up, you've got this worm. So is that the future form of him?
Lizards are not as appealing to eat.
No, no, they aren't.
Yeah, this one's like a ground steel type, but it's interesting because normally ground is super effective against steel, but this one's ability allows it to like be healed by ground attacks. Um, should be remembering that right. So Yeah, but it's kind of weird looking. It's like space worm. I don't think it fully works. Like, I don't know, there's something about it. I I don't know, I want to like it more. I might even say like mid C.
For me, I would put it right above Pixar Tadpole.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. We could definitely live with that.
And then of what, like a sea anemone going on? Like what's going on with these guys? What do we have here?
Yeah, these are interesting. They're like poison types. The Glimmet is the first one, I believe, and Glamora the second. Now I will say the art on this one in particular, it does kind of fan out. So it's kind of bunched up, but in battle it'll like fan out and kind of
Okay.
open up basically where that front kind of nose looking thing sticks out on the front and then fans out behind. So it is kind of cool looking. I like the colors going on here, but something just doesn't fully land for me with the design. And I don't know what's going on with the little like purple, part of its body. I do really like the face. I think that's cute. Um,
Yeah,
but
these I would say I would put them maybe above the worm, above the steel worm, but below the little tick guy in low B.
yeah, I'm good with that.
And
Yep,
I like the first form a little bit more.
yep, that sounds good. The second one's pretty when it does open up, but I don't know that I like it more. I think I maybe do like the first one more. They're pretty close.
All right, and now we've got Ghost Dog and Ghost
And
Dog 2.
And yeah, to be clear, yeah, they are also rock types. They kind of do have like a rock poison vibe going on. But yeah, so Ghost Dog, the Grievard line, I had one of these on my team, and actually my kind of final team, I had three ghost types, which is very unusual for me to stack so much of one type like that. But I loved a lot of the ghost types in this generation. And I love both these dogs. I think they're terrific and a lot of fun.
These are weird because they look like American comic strip characters more than Pokemon, so it's hard to get used to like the design difference. Like it looks like something that you would see in like a Halloween special of like Garfield or something. So where do you feel these guys land?
So I love the kind of the tombstone or the headstone on the second one. However, it is kind of fun, shaggy dog. But the first one is so cute that I think I do prefer it. Um, so I am like lower A tier for the first one, and the second one, I think like I do like its color a lot too, but I think like especially maybe with its mouth and its kind of hump on the back that maybe it's like higher B, but what do you think?
So I think the second one uh I think I like it significantly less than Sombrero Alligator. Um
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so I would put the second one maybe like right below the like Diglett eel is where I'd put the second one. And then the first one I would put bottom of A is how I'm feeling about
Okay.
them. But
Yeah.
how are you feeling?
You're not putting the dog on the buffet line because we wouldn't eat dogs, right?
I mean, I wouldn't eat any animal, so
Yeah, that's fair. That seems realistic. Um anyway, and then you said where for the first one?
so the second one would go above the olives, but below the eel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then the first one would be right at the very bottom of A.
Okay. The first one I would like above Code Scroll, just like one spot higher. But if you're like a lot lower on it than me, we could keep it the very bottom of A.
I am a
And
lot lower
then
on it, and I do like that Toad Scroll quite a bit. Like I do have a pretty massive gap between those two.
okay, yeah, then I can live with it staying in A, particularly if you think it's more of a B level design. Um, and then the second one, I would actually put, because I know you love it, I would put it right, mm, maybe right below Sombrero Man. Stay out of the food corridor, but if you think that's too high,
I can live with it. I would maybe put the motorcycle lizard right above him, but since you're not hot on the motorcycle lizard and you're really hot on this guy, I can live with that.
no, we could enter a lizard into the food plate. We could do that.
All right, yeah, lizard above.
Okay.
Now we've got just an
And
angry
then
flamingo.
yeah, flamingo Pokemon, another big wish list from a lot of fans um that we finally got here, and it is Flamigo, which is, I will say, quite the name with amigo and flamingo obviously. It's a little simpler than I would have liked. I get the like thinner legs for a flamingo and like the colors, but this is one of those that I hate to say it, and I will say this is a flying fighting type, which is a really cool combination. Um, so I get that too, but it's for me kind of like Seal. Like I really would have liked if they got more creative for the first Flamingo Pokemon. I
Right,
think they
instead of
could have
just
done a
like
lot
simply
more
like
with
here's
this.
just a flamingo. I kind of agree
Yeah.
with you. This is, I mean, because it's a flamingo and the flamingos are just cool animals. I think it ranks above uh Pixar Tadpole. But otherwise I'd put it bottom of B.
Okay. Yeah, I would have put this right below the mouse family, or in the both the stages of the mouse line. So if you want to have it lower B, um, you can kind of choose where you put it there.
Yeah, let's because like I think flamingos are just actually cool animals in terms of design. So it's like
For
I
sure.
so yeah, let's put above Pixar Tadpole. Because like it is like
Okay.
it can't rank any higher than that because it isn't really that creative, but like flamingos are just cool animals. So like I don't want to put it like that low in C because flamingos are pretty cool.
Okay. So next here we have one of, not absolute highest here, but we have approaching that realm of the best Pokemon made. This is so adorable. This little land whale Citadel, toddler land whale. I would protect this thing. Give my life to protecting it, and I would put this second on our list in S tier.
I would put this. I don't feel as strong about it. Like I was thinking like A. So I will give you third on the list below the cat.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just so cute. Oozes with charm.
And then
Yeah,
we've
that's
got the second form here, which is actually a pretty decent second form. It makes sense. Where do you feel about the second form?
you know, there's a lot of cool factor here, I think, but it just feels like I want to like it more than I actually do.
Uh huh.
Um, where I feel like there was even more they could have done with it with this cool like land whale. It's like really high HP, pretty bulky as far as taking hits and things. Um, this ice type. So I think it's creative to have like a land whale and it looks cool. But for me it's still B tier. Like I think it's quite a bit below like of a downgrade from Citadel, unfortunately, but still cool. Um, what are you thinking for it?
I think B is fine. How about right above the eel?
Um, yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. It could go a little higher if you wanted, but I think that's a good spot. I mean, honestly, that's yeah, kind of solid in B.
I think it's a good
Seems
spot.
like a good spot for it. So we have I believe Veluza,
And actually, I'm thinking this
kind of
this
this
I'm looking at Common Rider Cricket and Faux
mhm.
Pikachu. I think Faux Pikachu should go above Common Rider Cricket. Now that I'm looking at them side by side.
I'm good with that. Yeah, I think I would agree. So we'll bump him up.
All right, so we've
And
got
next year,
Metal Shark.
yeah, so it's interesting. This is like it's like this psychic fish. And these are very aggressive. When you're in the water in the games exploring,
Uh huh.
kind of like, closer later game, they approach you very swiftly and will start battles, just shoot out quickly. And I think it's fun. Like I think they could have done even more with it. I do like the colors, especially the kind of silver,
Uh huh.
with that metallic vibe. I do like it more than like the Aracuda or whatever from Gen 8. But yeah, like especially as a psychic fish, I wish they did even more with it. So like I think this is a like a really solid design that could have been even more.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it. I think this works very well for me. I mean, this I have a lot of flexibility with this one. I would rank it above Sombrero Guy, below Sombrero Guy. But if we ended up with this in like A, I wouldn't be upset either. So I've got some flexibility as to where we put him.
Okay. Are you more B rank or A rank for it then?
Oh, I'm more B rank, but if it ends up in A, I wouldn't be upset because I think it is very striking and fun. But it's just like the sombrero is tough to top.
Yeah, I think personally I would put this just below the grave dog or maybe below Palmy, depending on what you were feeling. Maybe in that range in
But
B.
we'll put it right below the grave dog, sure.
Okay.
All right, now this
So
this one
Dondo,
I like this one a lot. This feels very much like a classic Pokemon design. Like this is great.
yeah, this is great. They get particularly big. This was pretty big in the competitive scene because it's very bulky and with the way it works, extremely hard to take down. A water type, so two weaknesses out of all the types. With grass and electric. But yeah, this kind of set the competitive scene on fire. Like people were just building teams around, like either utilizing Dondozo here or basically have to have a plan against it to succeed and try to do well in team building. But yeah, it's kind of like this kind of mob like crime boss sort of mentality, and we'll kind of touch more on how that works with I guess we'll talk about now. So Tetsugiri, this kind of sushi fish after it,
Uh huh.
it looks like it's kind of on top of a rice bed. They're all the same. They're just different forms. Um, so it's all three the same Pokemon. Um, so if they're both on the field together in doubles, Dondozo will like eat Tatsugiri as like kind of the protector, whereas like Tatsugiri has this like commander ability where it's safe from harm, and it's kind of like from the shadows, like making these moves is kind of the idea where it's kind of the smart one, high special attack, whereas Dondozo is more like, you know, kind of not the yes fish, but
I got it.
um
So the blue
Yeah,
one is like the muscle, and the sushi one is the brains.
absolutely.
All right, got it. All right. Well, that's very
So
cool.
really, yeah, really unique how it works in doubles specifically. I think it was interesting that they decided to do that.
I mean, this one I could put bottom of S for the first one. I think that's a really great design.
Oh wow. Yeah, for me it's lower A tier. I actually got a shiny one which is yellow, which is really cool. But I think there's a lot to like here and it has like a catfish, like the whiskers look great. Blue's my favorite color and I like a lot of different types of blue, so it does speak to me with the colors.
Hmm.
But I think objectively like you see kind of this muscly catfish, with some strength and a lot of bulk. So, um I'd try to compromise like higher A with you, but if you felt really strongly about S, we will take the fishing net to it and hike it up there,
Tell you what,
upstream.
as far as compromising, how about right below the dolphin group? So we have all these blues all in a row.
That sounds great to me.
And then as far as the sushi ones, the designs feel more like something from like an old comic strip than from Pokemon. Like they don't necessarily feel like Pokemon to me. They feel uh like something from like I don't know, like Popeye almost, like these designs. So I like them. I feel weird about them because sushi was my favorite food for many many years, but now I'm a vegetarian, so it feels really weird about like how cute they look.
Hmm.
Um, so we're and I'm considering all three of these to be the same design. So where do you want to put these?
Yeah, these are weird where I saw them at first and they really stuck out in not like a horrible way, but like you said, not necessarily as Pokemon like. I love the colors on the orange one actually. So while I think these would rank pretty similarly, I do prefer the orange. There's a bit more going on, and I do really like that. But yeah, pretty simple. Where it's like, I think these are pretty well designed, but just don't have enough of that kind of pocket monster look for me. But it's a cute idea,
I would
so
put them
I
in
do understand that.
I'd put them in A. I'd put because I even though like they don't feel like Pokemon, I think they're really good. I would put them right above Ghost Dog and A. All three of them is where I'd put it.
Okay. I can respect that. They're higher B for me, so I'll be that guy and say, what if we put orange in the lowest A and put the other two top of B
I'd
with
wa-
pink second?
I think they should all be in the same tier.
Yeah, I figured that was coming.
Uh,
Um,
so
okay.
bottom
Yeah,
of
I
A
I could
or top of B.
yeah,
I do bottom of A. I think
I
they're
could
really good.
compromise. Yeah, I could compromise with low A. They're like Water Dragon, which is like maybe my second favorite type combination. Like phenomenal. I love Water Dragon as a type, like dual type. So that's a lot of fun. And I do really like the orange color in particular. I think I got a shiny white one of these. I think it's the shiny pink one. And that's cool. Just being white. But yeah, what do you think is best as far as the colors? I know they're all pretty similar, but
I mean, pink is my favorite color, but I think the yellow one has like the best attitude of the bunch. So I'd probably rank the yellow one at
that's
the
true.
top, and then the pink one at the bottom.
Okay. I feel pretty strongly about orange being the best. So what do you think if we put orange first, yellow in the middle, pink last, and then yellow's angry that it wasn't ranked the highest?
I think that's great. That works excellent.
Awesome.
I am getting closer to running out of time because I didn't know we'd be going as long as we did. So I've got maybe like a half hour. Do you think we can get through the rest of these in a half hour?
We can. We will make it work.
All right.
All right. Annihilate, I don't know if you recognize, but this is an evolution of primate.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
And
It
in the anime, there's kind of some lore, that it got so angry that it died, and
uh-huh.
this is like a ghost type. Yeah, and so
Okay.
I think it's like a fun play on that. This was one of the ghost types I did have on my team. It was kind of later game, and I think this design is wonderful. I'm like pretty high A on this myself. It's like a ghost fighting type.
See, I'm actually not that hot on this one. This is more like I'm feeling more like C below the like bread dog and that's in C. This reminds me of like remember those like Dragon Ball AF characters like Zycor where just like it was like very obvious like this is a fan made character. This feels like the
Mm-hmm.
Zycor of Pokemon to me.
Okay.
So we've got a pretty wide
Um,
gap.
yeah. Um, well, um, if I could convince you to go higher B, we could compromise there.
All right, how do
Just
you
maybe like
feel?
the highest B.
Oh, highest B because I was thinking C and you're thinking the highest B.
No,
Uh,
I was thinking like near the top of A.
you were thinking near the top of A, and I was thinking like lower C.
Oh, okay, lower C. Got it.
Yeah, I was thinking like
I
lower C. So in your so
I I'd fight for this one to be higher on B somewhere.
all right.
I really
So
love this, especially with the lore. But I think it looks great. I also had a shiny one, which is cool. It's more purple.
okay, where feels fair? I tell you what. How about below Pink Girl with the Hammer in B?
I was gonna say right above her. What do you think?
I think that's just a better design. But I know you feel really strongly about it, so I'll put him right above her. But I think that is just a better design. Um, but yeah, I'll give it to you. We'll put right above the
Okay,
Pink Girl in B.
I appreciate that. For this one, I'm gonna ask you to go down and grab regional Wooper, which I'm sure. Do you remember Wooper? It's like the
Is
little
it this guy?
brown.
Is it the gray guy with like that looks like bones coming out of his head?
Yes, yep. It's like a regional Wooper. So
Yeah,
they introduced regional forms in previous gens.
I don't even know who Whooper is,
What
but I'm
should have
guessing
been,
it's that guy.
yeah, yeah. This was introduced in Gen 7. This idea where in different regions the Pokemon evolved differently, and just because of the environment, they changed. So Wooper is like blue. It looks almost exactly like this, but it's
Yeah,
blue.
I think I saw
Um,
it on Wikipedia. Um,
yeah, it should have been Gen 2, I believe. So it's
yeah,
like
I
the
think I did
original.
see that.
And then Clodsire to the right is like a new evolution that is brand new to this game.
Wait, so uh,
Or sorry, on your left. Yeah, your first one. That's the new evolution.
okay. So the new one I like quite a bit. This guy could go up to A. The second one, um, I would not pass the sombrero barrier for me, but could go up an A, and I wouldn't be too upset about it.
You're talking about Wooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be okay with putting Wooper just above Sombrero, below Cyclizar, the green lizard, in B, and then Clodsire, the one that's more on the ground, the brand new one. Um, he's fun. I'm like lower B on, but you know, you kind of more than met me halfway on Annihilate. So if you want to put that one like lower A, we could.
Um, tell you what, we'll put him right above Annihilate.
Okay, I'm all right with that, even though I would personally rank them differently, obviously. But yeah, I think that's more than fair. Do you
I,
recognize this next one?
it's a giraffe wearing a costume.
Yeah, do you remember Giraffe Rig from Gold and Silver?
No, a lot of the gold and silver Pokemon did not stick with me.
It was like a kind of like a zebra um looking thing that was like electric and is like kind of had this weird tail where it was like black. Um Kind of like a giraffe zebra looking thing. This is a new evolution, new to this game. Um I like the orange. Obviously it's got a long neck. Um I thought the colors could be a little better, but I do like this. So I'd say like solid B. It's kind of got like a hood thing going on, like on the top of its head.
I mean, this looks like a Pokemon wearing a Halloween costume, so I would put this below Pink Hammer Girl, or even below like Elvis Bird. So where did you want to put this one?
Um, I was thinking very solid B, near the middle. I could even see it go like right above Wiglet, like the red eel, the triple red eel.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Cool. What about this next one? Is this familiar at all?
Kind of looks like a Caterpie or a Weedle, like a combo between the two of them.
So Dunsparce was kind of like a more shrunken version of this from Gen 2. It had these little white wings with the same color scheme, but it just wasn't as long. And it's just like this normal type that the fans have been wanting for decades now to evolve, and, and it evolves into the Dunsparce, and it adds one like length of its body. It just gets longer, and that's the evolution and the name.
Now that's a pretty good troll. I don't know if it's as good of a troll as the dolphin one, but actually, given how many years it was built up, um, I would put this one right below, right above the Ghost Primeape evolution, just for the troll aspect.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. I think this is a better troll, but still pretty dumb. Um,
Well, that's
I'm
the
like
highest
low
I would
B.
go. I could go low B. Like I'm fine with it. So
Yeah, I'm like in the low B, high C, where I really did want this to be like a cool, like coil thinner, like flying kind of dragon serpent. Um, and yeah, I wish they would have done more with it. So it is only a second stage. Pokemon can go to threes, so there's
I
this chance we'll get something else.
how about right below the flamingo then?
Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, maybe in another like what would it be? 25 years. We'll get a third stage. That's really cool.
All right, so we've got a really serious like Shogun Beetle guy, I guess.
Yeah, so this is an evolution. I think it's from a Gen 4 Pokemon, Gen 4 or 5, Bisharp line. So this is kind of like a samurai, yeah, like Shogun. Um, and yeah, I don't love the top of its head. This Bisharp, the stage right before it, which was the top before this one,
Hmm.
is really cool. So I don't know. There are aspects of this one that are really cool, and this one's like really slow, and it's kind of sitting down, kind of that like samurai, like just kind of slow and one swipe type of
Yeah,
mentality
yeah.
with a
I mean, I like it.
really
I
high
could
attack.
this one I could put an A. So it's really like how not hot you're feeling on it.
Yeah, I'm like sort of higher B on it, so I wouldn't be upset if you wanted to put it lower A. If you felt pretty strong.
We'll put it right at the bottom of A.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So now we get into the paradox Pokemon, which are more kind of like a legendary category, but a little different. So I don't know if you remember Donphan.
Yeah, I do.
from Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably can see, yeah, this one's called Great Tusk. All the Paradox forms have really weird names, and this one is a past form. So it's exclusive to Scarlet. And I don't know, like I like the colors here and some of the sharpness. The long tusks are cool. I do think like objectively they could have done a little more with this one to make it interesting, but I do think it has a cool factor. And so, I think B. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I could bump it up to A, but I think B is fine. Where do you want to put it in B?
Um, I would say right below Gravestone Dog. Where would you like it in B?
Right above Gravestone Dog, so we can put it right below Gravestone Dog.
Okay.
All right, so this is like a Jigglypuff type thing.
Yeah, and it's got stats to kind of be a bulky like support Pokemon actually. And what was really cool is I played Violet, so this is a past Jigglypuff form, Paradox, and I joined somebody else's game to then catch one in the wild because you could do that co-op in Scarlet and Violet. And there was like a certain area near the end of the game where they have the Paradox forms, and I just ran across a wild shiny one where it looks very vampiric even more, where it has red eyes, and it's fantastic. Like it really works for me. So that was a cool memory. And of course, I joined this other person's game, and the shiny popped up for me instead of them. It was just kind of funny how the luck worked out. But yeah, Scream Tail is what it's called.
All right, this one is like a solid B for me. Where do you put this one?
I think this is high B, believe it or not. I can see some people bouncing off this, but it works for me. I think this is great. I think it's cool to use Jigglypuff, a somewhat memorable Pokemon because of the anime, but I think this gives it some new life with great stats, and I think it's a fun play on it. So, I mean, Elvis Jigglypuff, I'd say like high B or low A.
We'll put it right at the top of B.
Sounds perfect.
All right, what do we got next?
Brute Bonnet, we have the past form of a Mungus, which I believe was the Gen 4 Pokemon. Um, it's the kind of the most well-known sleep Pokemon with a move called Spore, very slow, but puts Pokemon to sleep. So this was used a decent amount competitive when it was introduced. I don't know about now, but its non-paradox form, Amoonguss, is used quite a bit in the games that it's in, generally, because of its, basically ability to put Pokemon to sleep, and it's bulky, even though it's slow. This one's got more of like a weird dinosaur look to it, which is kind of a wild choice.
Yeah,
It's a little hard to see its face. Like you could Google it to kind of see it
yeah, no,
better.
I
It's
see it.
called Brute Bonnet, but
All right. Yeah, this one I like it. We probably got to go through these faster because I am running out of time. Uh,
mhm.
this one, I think this could go as high as A for me. Where do you want to put it?
I'd say somewhere in B, so you can stick it where you want.
We'll put it right above Primate Ghost.
Okay.
Oh, this one I
Um,
like a lot. This one looks very good. I like this one a lot.
yeah, this is Flutter Mane. This takes some pterodactyl inspiration, which is really interesting. Um, from the way the Pokemon looked originally. It looks pretty similar, but it's kind of got an extra like level. You see at the top with like the dual level kind of wings sort of on its face, and it's got the spikes in the middle.
Uh huh.
This is a very heavily used competitive Pokemon with a huge special attack stat, a lot of speed, and it's a fairy ghost type. It's very strong offensive presence that's very fragile. It's a glass cannon. I think it's super cool. I love pterodactyls. The design isn't like necessarily S rank for me, but this is a really, really strong design, I think, with cool elements.
Yeah, I would say this is a very good design. I would put this right above the Dolphins in A, is where I would put it.
That sounds great. Let's do it. The next one is Slitherwing. It's like a fighting bug. This one actually, this original Pokemon got two Paradox forms, so we'll see the other one in just a couple minutes here. Um, this one I think is cool. It's kind of got that feral look, like something that could poison you or something in the jungle. Um, I think it's pretty strong. I think this is like a high B, low A for me for Slitherwing.
I'm really not that hot on this one, but you said, how about right below Jigglypuff 2?
Oh, sure, yeah. If you want to keep it that high, sure.
I mean, I this one, as far as where I would put it, it would not pass the fake Pikachu barrier. Um, but since you're pretty hot on it, I'll put it like right up at like high B, since you were talking about it being higher than that potentially.
Okay. All right.
All right, so this looks like the magnet Pokemon.
Yeah, Magneton, you might remember.
Yeah, from Gen 1. So what's the remix here?
Yeah, it's like Sandy Shocks. It's a past Pokemon, and it's like these magnetic ends are now like legs. It walks super weird, it looks weird. It's got the bottom there where it's almost like iron or some kind of metal that's stuck to it, like magnetized. And then you got some of that black on the top. That's that basically. I like the yellow eyes. This is a wild looking Pokemon. I think it's funny but not an amazing design. I'd
Yeah,
call it good.
I would honestly I could put this like low C just above the crab. So where do you want to put this one?
Um, yeah, what do you think about above the Don Dog, below the final water starter line? Kind of in the middle of C?
Below what dog?
Oh, right above the Oinkalone and the dog, and right below the final water starter
Oh,
form,
yeah,
the
no,
duck
that's
in
good for
C.
me. Yeah, that works.
Okay, cool.
Hold
This
on,
next
cat's
one is
destroying the blinds, lifting it up.
hmm,
New kitten lights destroying blinds. Next one. This looks like one of those like Gen 2 Pokemon. This is like the Paradox, but the future version.
It is, yeah, of Don Fam. So it's like Iron Treads. Um, I think this is cool, but it's almost looks buggy on the bottom. Like, I don't know, like the face is so like short, kind of under the
Yeah.
tread there on top. Like, so I'm more like a low B on this one, where I like the colors, but the overall design doesn't come together as a full package as much as I wish it did.
Yeah, I think I will put him. I'm feeling low B. How about right underneath the tick guy?
That sounds good. Yep.
All right. And apologies for having to, run. Had something come up unexpectedly, but you know how that goes.
Yeah,
So,
no problem.
but yeah, we still have another like 20-ish minutes before I got to bounce out.
Okay, I think we'll be able to finish then.
Yeah, we should.
Just
We
keep going
should.
quick.
Uh, mm, I looks like a Mega Man Owl, Robot Owl.
Buddy, we've got robot Delibird here. Delibird from Gen 2, the Santa bird Pokemon. You may not remember.
Do not remember it all. I really got to
Um,
brush up on Gen 2.
Yeah, that's all good. But yeah, this one's fast and a pretty hard hitter. This was used competitively a pretty solid amount, at least when it was introduced. I think it's like water ice type. Um, but yeah, and I know it's ice. But yeah, I think it's all right. Kind of a weird Pokemon to pick. I like its feet. I don't love the top with the white kind of sticking up on the sides, on its face. Um, I'm also like lower B on this one. What do you think
Uh,
about Iron Bundle?
yeah, you know what? I'll put it low B. Um, put it right below the one we just put in low B.
That's exactly where I was gonna put it. Perfect.
All right, this guy, I like the big hands. Kind of fun. I would put this guy right above uh Minecraft Golem and below the three eels.
Caveat Zealot says there's a Pokemon there that looks just like Mojo from Chrono Cross. Um, yeah, I wonder which one he's talking about. Um, sorry, so this is Iron Hands here. You said where'd you want to put him?
Right below the three pink eels in B.
I really like this design. Um, this is a menace too competitively. I did have it on a team, um, and I think it stayed a menace after it was introduced. It's super bulky. It hits really hard. Um, I really like this. I think it's fun. A nice glow up as a future form. Um, I would put this like right below Rev of Room, which would be fourth in B tier. Pretty high. I'm like higher B on it.
Um, sure, we'll put it fourth in B tier. Let's do it.
All right, right above Olive Girl.
Okay, this guy is pretty cool. Actually, let's do these two together. You got like a little like raptor, bug, flower bee, and then you've got like robot bee. I think these are both pretty cool. The raptor one, I could put like uh maybe um right above like actually no, right below the whale that's underneath like the third form of the fire starter, like right above the Pokemon Shield guy, and then the
Okay,
B
yeah,
I would put um kind of anywhere in B rank and be fine with it.
okay. Yeah, I'm like solid B on Iron Jugulus, the first Raptor one. Hydreigon, which is from Gen 5, just like standard is better than this one, although I do really like the colors of it. So it is a bit disappointing, but it's still cool. So yeah, we can stick them there, higher B. You said right below Brown, yeah, right below the okay, Clodsire. And then yeah, Iron Moth I think is even cooler. Um, this is a really fun like idea for like a futuristic like moth form.
Mm-hmm.
That looks kind of poisonous and edgy. Um, so yeah, I like this a lot.
I could do bottom of A.
I would put it okay. Yeah, I would have said maybe like right below Screamtail, like the Jigglypuff, but we could do bottom A.
Yeah, let's do bottom of A because I
I
mean
know you're thinking
I've got
maybe B.
flexibility with it. Yeah, bottom of A is good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a great design, honestly. So I don't mind it being low A at all. So my yeah, my buddy Robert got a shiny one of these, which basically all the shinies of the future forms were like silver, which I was a little boring. Like they could have done more. But he loves this thing. I think it's cool. I don't know if you remember Tyranitar from Gen 2, but that's what they're taking from this. which was pretty heavily Godzilla inspired, which we'll see a bit here with the new pseudo legendary
Uh-huh.
next. But it's like worse Tyranitar. Like Tyranitar is awesome. And this is like cool, but there's something that's like too rounded about it for me that like I don't know. Tyranitar still has the cool factor, so it still would stay in B for me. It wouldn't slip, but I think it's like lower B for me. What are you thinking on this one?
Um, I'm thinking I'll put it right above Common Rider Cricket.
I'm cool with that.
So put that there. And we have like 30 Pokemon in like 10 minutes. So we gotta do like 3 a minute.
All right.
These three guys. I like the first form quite a bit. I think that's really, really good. Looks like a classic Pokemon design. Second form, I think, is a classic second form design. I think looks good. And a good third form. So these guys I like quite a bit. How do you feel about these guys?
These guys have some great Godzilla inspiration too. Ice Dragon type, which is really cool. The second one's the best for me. I think it's one of the strongest in the gen. I'd actually put it low S. I could see it as like high A as well. I know that's pretty high. And I wish the third form, like I get the Baxcalibur, the sword inspiration on the back, but I don't think it's as good. So I'd rank the second one pretty high. The first one I'd be fine with like a mid B. I think it's pretty good. And the third one I'd put higher at maybe like high B, like very high B, maybe seeping into low A. What do you think?
Okay, so you kind of confused with the terminology. So the final form I put right next to the last Godzilla we did, right below it.
Okay. What if we put it right above?
I'm fine with that. And the first form,
Okay.
I ended up losing where I put it, which is unfortunate.
It's like
Uh,
the little gray guy.
there's a lot of little gray guys. I think yeah, I ended up losing where I put it because I was listening to what you were saying as I was moving it.
It might be, yeah, it might be below it. Um,
All right, the first form
um,
I like a lot. I think I was moving that up pretty high, so I feel like it's probably an A or S somewhere. The first one I put uh right below the duck and S and A. So second and A. And then the first form how about right above the ghost dog and A. So they're both ending up in A, and the second one is like almost at the top of A.
yeah, so that one with the little bit of yellow on the back that you're highlighting now, the smallest gray one,
Yeah,
I'm a little lower on that, like more mid B. So why don't we put that very last in A? What do you think about that?
put that very last in A, and tell you what, we'll bump the second form bottom of S.
That's incredible. I mean, I know that's pretty high on it, but I think this is an amazing design, especially for a second form. That's just incredible. I wish it would have stayed that level for the third form. Sounds great.
All right, coin guys. I think the first one where he's in the box, the treasure chest, is more fun. These don't really look like Pokemon designs to me. They look like something more Western. Um,
Yep.
I'd put the
I really like I like the idea of a mimic. I just wish it didn't look so kind of rounded and
yeah.
yeah,
Where do you want to put
like
them?
yeah. I'd be okay with like B for both the first two. Goldango, the gold one at the end, I think is awful. I would say low D tier.
Oh,
I don't
the
like it at
third one
all.
is like that's another one of them. All right, so the third one you want D.
To be fair, it does kind of have this surfboard that it can kind of like surf on. I think it's like steel, silver looking, but
All right, tell you what, he'll
I
go above the
I don't
crab
like it.
then.
It doesn't
He'll
work.
go above the crab, and the other two.
Okay.
Um, how about below? How about How about below the first form of like the pink hammer creature? Right below that.
That seems great. And I would put the one in the chest above the coin one.
Yeah.
The one just holding the one coin. Roaming form. Yeah.
Okay, looks like a snail that's like made of like grass.
Yeah, this is like a kind of like a tablet treasure, like set of four. Um Generally I think these are solid. This one's my least favorite. I think it's just like high C, like it's like a grass snail. Kind of boring, not bad. I'd put it probably right below the spider
Right below the spider in C.
in C. Yeah, what do you think?
I'd put it a little bit higher actually. I would put it above the worm at least, the metal worm.
Go ahead and stick it there then.
Okay.
Um, the second one's the strongest. This little like saber tooth cat that has swords. Like
Uh
those are the treasures that are its fangs. I think this is amazing.
yeah, let's
Extremely solid A tier.
you know what? Let's put an A. Um put it
I
below
would
this.
even put it the very top of A.
Uh okay. All right, we're gonna really have to fly through these last bunch. All right, we might just have to like comment on these in bulk. Apologies for having the unexpected last minute things come up. Um, we've got this one with the bull on its head. Where do you want to put that one?
I like it. I think it's like high B. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll do high B. We'll put it um second in B.
Sounds
This
perfect.
next one,
What about the next one?
I'm not hot on. I'm not really a fan of this one. This one I would put like below the sad dog in C.
Oh, the little fish.
Yeah.
I think this one's fun. I think this is like solid B for me. So, do you want to go low B maybe and put it like just above the snail,
Yeah, sure.
below the blue
Yeah, yeah, that
poison
works.
thing? Okay.
All right.
I think
Uh,
it's fun. This next one's like Gardevoir future form. It's like Gardevoir and Gallade mixed. In practice or in theory, like I would have liked this a lot more.
uh,
It's still really cool. I like the colors. I like the cape, but something about it doesn't fully come together, even though it is cool. So, I think it's like a high B. What do you think?
uh, yeah, sure. Let's put it fourth in B. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Right below Slitherwing. All right.
All right.
The
This one I like a lot. I could put this at these nets three. The green one and the blue one, I could put like the green one could go S, the blue one could go A, and the red one would go maybe B.
Sorry, I mixed them up dragging around. The one everything I just said was for the one with the pink like lance thing. The first one on your screen.
I didn't hear what you said. So this one,
Yeah, well, where we put it like high B, like fourth. I was talking about the lance one, the green and pink one. Where do you think you want that one?
oh, you know what? We'll just put it there. I thought you were talking about the bird thing that we put up there.
No, Sorry. No, the bird thing I love. I think that's A tier. I love the colors. It's very threatening. I like the moon vibe with its wings.
Sure,
Um,
we'll put at the
I
bottom of A. We have 1 minute to
okay.
get through the rest of these.
All right. What do you think of purple and red paradox forms of Cyclizar, the box
Uh,
legendaries?
I'm just gonna give you the ones that I have the strong opinions on. Uh, I'm just gonna give you like my brief commentary, just because I don't really, unfortunately, have time to rank all of them. It looks like. So I'm just gonna give you my comments in order, then we'll just put a placement on them. Red one, not as hot on. Blue one, I like. I don't know why we need more Tauruses, but gray. Um, Blue
This is a
guy,
Spain region, so
got it. Blue guy kind of looks familiar. I guess it's a remake of a different Pokemon. The green
mhm.
guy kind of looks familiar, looks fun. I like that one more than the blue guy. The cherry looks very silly. Um, I don't know what's going on with these like magical pot things that are very weird, but they're fun. Um,
Yeah, it's T.
they've got like this ghost cat monkey bird thing. Those look like they're from a different franchise. Um, the little green thing with like the smiley face and the sharp teeth is really fun. I don't know what this white and blue thing is. The snake with the apple looks very silly. Um, I like this guy right next to the snake with the apple. The giraffe thing with the
Mhm.
cloud is fun. Robot guy is fun. I like that. Um, I like the blue guy. I like the turtle guy. I like that other turtle guy. This thing at the end, I'm not getting too much personality from, and the like steel bear thing at the end is fun. And then as far as ranking goes, you just will have the full power to rank them wherever you want because I'm out of time. So tell me where each of them are going in order.
You want to say your tiers for the two box legendaries real quick? They were the two next ones, the red and the purple, like dragon looking ones. The
Uh,
first two on your screen.
the red one I like lower than the blue one. So we can rank all these. You just tell me where to put them, and we'll just put them wherever you put them. And I would just not argue.
Um, I would say like low A for the red orange box legendary, more has a Native American inspiration.
All right,
For the
bottom of
purple
A.
one, I think it's one of the strongest designs. Violet box legendary Miraidon. I think it's an S. I would say this is the fourth. I would put it fourth in S.
Okay.
The Tauros are all solid. I guess they're like high C. I would put the water one in low B. The others are high C. The others are all DLC. So if you gotta go, we can skip them. I didn't play the DLC, so
All right, so the Tauros, you said you put the rest of them in C. You said.
I put the first two in C, and I'd put the water one that's the third Tauros in low B. I do think there's enough of a difference, and I do prefer it.
All
I like
right.
the horns. They got some ridges. I like the blue.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
it feels lame not to rank all of them. So, DLC blue guy. He'll just go right underneath the treasured guys. The green
Yeah,
guy.
I can help you. I can help you rank them. I just was trying to respect your time.
Yeah. No. I'll just put the rest of them in places then. Green one. I'll put at the bottom of A. I like that a lot. The cherry is kind of stupid but fun, so put it just like underneath the Godzilla guys. And B. These weird like Japanese things I think are really fun. So I'll actually
They're
put
like
them.
ghost tea,
Yeah, those I'm just
like
gonna
ghost
put
tea.
them all at the bottom of A in a row because they're really fun. Um,
I really like that second one. I think it's called Sinistea or Sinischa. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
I could potentially use that in a DLC playthrough. That's
These
fun.
next three I'm not hot on, so they're going towards the bottom of C above the crab. They look like weird,
Yeah,
like haunted mansion kind of stuff. This next one,
Yeah,
the green
those
one with the teeth, I'm gonna put bottom of A just for brevity's sake. Um, blue and white guy is weird and fun. I'm gonna put him right below green Godzilla. Snake with the apple. I don't really like. I'll put it right above the crab and C. Nets guy. Um, I'll put it right above the Godzillas. Below fake Pikachu. This next one, like the giraffe with the cloud around its head, around its neck, kind of gives me Journey to the West vibe, so I'll put that bottom of A. Um,
mm,
cool robot doggo thing. I'll put it right above the Godzillas. Um, blue guy. Um, bottom of A.
the next little turtle, the skinny one, looks really cute.
I
It's
really like
adorable.
him.
I like it a lot.
He will go right below the duck for me. Uh, and the Nets turtle, I'm gonna put uh bottom of A. I think that's a really cool design. This next one, uh, I'm just gonna put bottom of. I'm gonna put bottom of B above the tadpole, and then the last one, which we added special, which wasn't there, because we took the time to add him special. He will go at the very top of S rank and win the ranking.
Oh gosh. Well, go ahead and give it a save at the bottom. But yeah, thanks to everybody who watched and joined us. I know it was a long one, but and thanks for having me on, Greg.
Oh,
This was a lot of fun. So I
this was
appreciate it.
fun. I'm sorry we had to get rushed at the end. Time flies when you're having fun, and I'm actually screenshotting these bad boys.
And let us and Greg know if you guys want us to do another tier list on another potential gen, say Gen 8 or a different generation.
Yeah, and I'll definitely
Um,
make sure that
Feel free to let
next
them know.
time I definitely have the time to do the full ranking. Sorry we had to get rushed at the end, but this was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got to dive into the different Pokemon with my buddy. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next stream.
Take care, everybody.
And stream